You're headed somewhere for Thanksgiving, you'll have a lot of company. Some 55 million Americans expected to travel at least 50 miles from home. Some on the roads, many others in the air, and a lot of the latter tomorrow.
We're expecting almost 50,000 flights on Wednesday. 49,600 is our current estimate, and that eclipses last year. We will be working around the clock to make sure passengers get to their destinations safely.
FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker. Elon Musk, his social media platform X, telling a leading liberal advocacy group, see you in court.
X claims Media Matters manufactured a report to show advertisers' posts alongside neo-Nazi and white nationalist posts in order to drive advertisers from the platform and destroy the former Twitter. Concerned advertisers have been fleeing X. In its complaint, X accuses the liberal group of maliciously manipulating algorithms to create misleading images. Media Matters calls the lawsuit frivolous. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Senator Joe Manchin has been catching flack from fellow Democrats over speculation that he may make a run for president.
Democrat senators are voicing concern a Manchin third-party run could undermine a Biden re-election bid and possibly lead to what they would consider a nightmare scenario, another Trump term. Manchin, who has yet to say whether he'll run next year, has been complaining for some time now that politics have become too polarized in Washington. He said in a recent interview, quote, "I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure to mobilize that moderate, sensible, common sense middle." Bob Agnew reporting.
The result of a property dispute, a shooting has left 3 people dead in Custer County, Colorado. The suspect remains at large. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 80 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're trading or thinking about trading in the stock market, listen up. Last year, a staggering number of Americans were forced to take out withdrawals from their savings. Worse than the dot-com bubble, housing meltdown, or pandemic crash. Those could all feel like a blip compared to what some Wall Street analysts expect may be coming as soon as December. Some are calling it the market tsunami, and it could wipe out billions of dollars in the markets. But before any of those things happen, Vantage Point's AI analyzes billions of data points in seconds, so you get highly accurate predicted market conditions in advance. Text the word money to 813-813 now to learn more in a free online class. Text MONEY to 813-813. Text the word money to 813-813. Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance. By texting, you agree to the terms available at VantagePointSoftware.com and consent to receive calls and texts using automated technology about offers or info by or on behalf of Vantage Point. Your consent is not a condition to purchase and can be revoked at any time. Message and data rates may apply. Text the word money to 813-813.
Volodymyr Zelensky releasing a video of the capital Kiev as a backdrop, addressing Ukraine to mark Freedom and Dignity Day.
In his speech, Zelensky emphasized Ukraine's path to joining the European Union. On Dignity Day, he says, we have the right to say this is not just an adornment of a square in Kyiv, a decoration, a fiction. This is the real symbol of Ukraine's inseparability from Europe, the right to which the Ukrainian nation and the Ukrainian state have been proving all this time. Zelensky added, Ukraine was doing the work to become a full member of the EU at the same time as when our people are defending themselves and Europe right now in the ongoing conflict with Russia. He ended, because we have to protect our freedom in order not to lose our dignity. I'm Charles Philadesma.
News and analysis at townhall.com. The Fed's investigating a series of Hyundai and Kia brake-related safety recalls.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's Office of Defects Investigation is reviewing 16 Hyundai and Kia recalls conducted since 2016 that involve more than 6 million vehicles for potential anti-lock braking system module fires. The recalls all involve the anti-lock braking system modules or hydraulic electronic control units made by the equipment supplier Mando. Regulators want to determine if the recall should have been done sooner. I'm Norman Hall.
Israeli troops are battling Palestinian fighters in an urban refugee camp and outside a nearby hospital as the army expands operations across northern Gaza. Residents there have been without electricity or reliable access to water, food, and other basics for weeks. Israel says Hamas fighters have regrouped there after being driven from Gaza City. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Holiday Tuesday, everybody. Yes.
Like a Thursday, only just with less turkey and stuffing.
For the kids, kind of Friday. 'Cause they're off tomorrow.
Yeah,
So-
one more day of hectic. It's always complicated when you're a parent. I actually have to take my daughter to school today due to some issues with their normal bus schedule. So it's been fun.
So you'll be off to the school here in a minute.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I always like taking a lot of joy in is in doing morning radio. I get to avoid all of that. The drop-off, if you've ever driven in a school zone during drop-off or pickup
There's a lot
hours.
of people listening to you right now saying, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm preaching to the choir.
Doing it right now.
I've been able to avoid it successfully for a number of years.
Yeah.
And it's really starting to catch up to me now.
Do you know the routine? Like,
Yeah,
or are you that guy
relatively.
that messes the whole thing up?
No, for the most part, I'm pretty good with it. The big problem is, and I know this is kind of like a standard thing now, but her drop-off lanes are surrounded by this like long wrought iron fence. It's 2 lanes. But basically, once you drop off your kid, or you have to wait till you get to the front to drop off the kid. But
Right.
You're stuck in a line. There's
Right.
no escape. I'm a claustrophobic sort.
Like, I've done my business. I want to leave.
It's not even so much that. It's just if something happens, I want to be able to have egress. You know. I want to be able to get out of there.
Right.
It's that and corridors. Like when I'm driving, if I'm driving on like a highway and there's like the pylons on the side next to like a wall.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's not like scary so much as it's just irritating.
You'd love some of the tunnels you'd have to drive through on the East Coast.
Weirdly, I'm actually okay with tunnels. Like
Really?
I like the idea and concept of a tunnel.
Yeah.
But like narrow corridors when I'm driving, that bothers
Get some of those ones that are like 5 miles long. You get a little.
It is off-putting. Like one of my bucket list items is I want to go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
At some point in my life.
Yeah.
But still, it is a tunnel underneath a giant body of water that could at any point in time just.
Well, that's usually all of them are like that.
I know.
Like the Lincoln Tunnel and Baltimore, the Baltimore Beltway.
Mm-hmm.
There's a portion of that Beltway that you either have to go in the tunnel or go over the Francis Scott Key Bridge. There are not many bridges that kind of freak me out. The Francis Scott Key Bridge freaks me out. That bridge, it's just high. It's so high.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like driving 70 miles an hour, bumper to bumper, and you're so high above the water.
That's terrifying.
That one always, like that one I'm always like, I feel like I need oxygen up here. It's so, so I'm like, I'll take the tunnel.
Suspension bridges are another one that really like.
Yeah, and it is a suspension, I believe.
They're really scary. Like the ones that are like super intricate. Like there's one in like, I want to say it's like London or Italy or something that's like woven like steel cables that hold this gigantic bridge up. I'm like, at any point in time, something could happen that could snap one of those cables and the whole thing is just gone.
Good science, though.
Yeah, it's true. You ever seen that video? I want to say it's like from like the 20s. And it's like an earthquake where the bridge is doing this thing.
Was that Golden Gate or one of those?
I think it was Golden Gate. Yeah.
It's that one's unnerving.
That's the thing with suspension bridges that really like gets me. It's like you were really putting your faith in a lot of math and science.
Yeah, especially nowadays where some of these bridges weren't built except for when FDR was president. And then I'm like, all right, now I need to think about.
You know what it is? I'm a creative type, so I'm naturally right-brained, meaning I'm more like, creative and in my thought process. I'm not analytical, so math and science make no sense to me. I can't wrap my head around it.
He just thinks everything's a Final Destination.
Oh my God. Yeah, and that's the other thing is I've recently watched 3 of those 5 movies.
Well, good news is you're now into Christmas season. So you'll have to watch many horror movies. We're past Halloween. The horror movies are going to subdue.
No, but
now it's Christmas season.
Did you see that they're putting out? I think it's already out. That they put out a horror movie based on Thanksgiving.
I did see that. Yes,
it's pretty ridiculous from what I've seen.
Well, I saw the poster and it looks like Friday the 13th meets Thanksgiving. It's very okay.
Well, that and Roy showed me. I guess in the new Mortal Kombat game, your fatalities can be holiday themed, and there's apparently a Thanksgiving fatality. He showed me the clip, and it's disturbing. It is very disturbing. Think the meaning of life.
Still like cranberry sauce, do you?
I do. I do still. But no, think the Mr. Creosote scene from The Meaning of Life.
Okay,
there you go. They basically stuffed him to the point of explosion.
It's wafer thin.
But it started out with a curb stomp on the table, and it's just like, oh, God. It's rough, man.
I still can't watch American History X after that scene. But anyway. Actually, I probably need to watch that movie now, like 30 years later, to see if it's equally disturbing as it was.
It still is.
When I watched
Although, it is fun to go back and watch a very rotund Ethan Suplee and then look at him now.
Yeah.
Because he's svelte now.
Yeah. I get to remember who that guy is.
The dude from My Name is Earl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The fat guy from My Name is Earl.
Yeah.
He's like built now.
Is he?
He dropped like 150 pounds, got all
Wasn't he also
stacked.
in
He's in a ton of stuff. He was the bully in Boy Meets World.
the Titans movie?
He was in Remember the Titans. No, I'm sorry, that's not him. That's
not him?
another guy who was gigantic and lost a ton of weight.
Okay.
But then actually I think passed away.
Oh.
Recently. Yeah, he was the same guy in Remember the Titans and Not Another Teen Movie.
Why is every time we have one of these conversations always get that guy's dead now? That is every single time.
Every single time.
A couple of things before we get our interview going, because I got a couple announcements.
Yes.
Of course, we announced the Wool Bowl participants yesterday. Here, if you missed it, 2:30 yesterday, Joe Fortuner joined us, and we did a unveil of the opponents for the 2023 Excel Energy Wool Bowl, which will take place December 1st. That's a Friday, December 1st. It'll be, of course, at the Wool Bowl, hence the Wool Bowl thing. And your opponents in this year's Wool Bowl will be your New Mexico Military Institute Broncos, at number 15 in the nation, against number 7 in the nation, the Dodge City Conquistadors,
Nice.
Dodge City Community College. So that is, yes, the Dodge City with Wyatt Earp and Wild West, the whole deal. So December 1st, that will be at the Wool Bowl. 6 p.m. is kickoff. However, everything gets underway at 3 o'clock. They're going to have Food Truck Friday with the food trucks out there. Live music around 4:15. Will Bannister Band will be there. Admission's only $5. Get your tickets right now at woolbowl.net. Again, that's woolbowl.net. You can get your tickets. By the way, Richland is going to be doing a halftime opportunity where you can win $50,000 as well. So a lot of fun and festivities going on during this year's Wool Bowl. Again, our opponents have been announced. The New Mexico Military Institute Broncos against the Dodge City Conquistadors.
We did one of those years ago. It was during one of the football games, and I think it was you could win a truck if you kicked the football from the 50-yard line into the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the most impossible thing known to man.
Well, it's $50,000. I mean, if it was easy, we'd everybody doing it.
That's right.
The other thing I would love to announce, of course, we do have a little playoff football game here on Saturday.
Just a little something,
little state
something.
championship,
No big deal.
little thing going on here on Saturday.
Just a battle for Big Blue, that's all.
Your 1 seed Roswell Coyotes taking on the 2 seed Artesia Bulldogs. That will be in the Bulldog Bowl Saturday at 1 o'clock. Now, to quote Will Smith, okay, here's the situation.
Keep my wife's name out. Sorry.
Not that one. I should have said Fresh Prince. Okay, here's the situation. All right, here's what's going on. So,
I feel like I should have dropped a DJ Jazzy Jeff S beat for you. Okay, here's the situation.
The parents are off on a 2-week vacation. Sorry. So, we can't obviously bring you video of the championship game because those rights don't belong to us. Therefore, we can't do it. If you want to watch the game, you're going to have to go through ProView to do that, unless you're in person. However, we have an alternative for you. Of course, we're going to have the game on the radio. Of course, the Coyote Perspective right here on 106.5. The Bulldog Perspective on 990 AM KSVP.
Yep.
But what we're going to do on our video side, so we can't bring you the game. We can't show you the game.
Right.
We can't turn the cameras on the field. Okay?
Right.
But what we can do is have the cameras in the press box on our guys calling the game.
Yes.
So here's what we're going to do. We can't show you the game, so we're going to go a little inside baseball. I guess inside football in this, for this fun situation. And basically, we're going to put our cameras in the press box. So you're going to, if you can't watch the game on our video, you can watch Art and Kelly call the game on the video. So we're going to have the cameras on Art and Kelly in the press box. You get to see what it looks like in the Bulldog Bowl press box, but they're calling the game, kind of see a little behind the action, and you can see their reactions live, talking about the. Of course, you'll hear their audio. You're just like you're listening on the radio. But since we can't show you the game, we figured it might be neat to see some of that. So they'll do a little pregame. I know they're going to do like a combined pregame at 7:15, or excuse me, at about noon or so to. And it's going to be Art and Kelly and Joby and Robbie, our 4 announcers that are calling the game. They're going to do a little pregame show.
They're going to Rochambeau.
Yeah, and they're going to talk a little bit about the history of playing at the Bulldog Bowl and the history of these two teams and some. They're not talking X's and O's. Like they're all like, even our 2 radio crews were like, wait a minute, we're not going to give away information.
Right.
I was like, hey, it's minutes for kickoff, and I'm sure the coaches aren't listening to you guys.
I loved hearing
to hear
that's the enemy. I'm like, wait a second, what?
But
you're
it's
being
all
paid by the same person.
But our broadcasters are like, nope, we're not giving anything to them, and vice versa. So it's really fun. But anyway, they're going to do a little pregame, and then we'll have our regular pregame around 12:40 or so, and then kickoff will be at 1 o'clock. But we'll have live streaming video of our announcers during the game at ksvptv.com. Again, if you want to see Kelly and Art, you go to the Coyote channel. If you want to see Joby and Robbie, then you go to the Bulldog channel.
I feel like this whole thing started with, like, the whole conversation started with, okay, hear me out. We can't watch the game, but what if you could watch somebody watch somebody?
That's exactly how it did. I'm the one.
I know.
And I'm the one who said it.
I can hear it, you in my head going, okay, hear me out. Hold for
this
judgment.
Is completely out of my brain. So if this is a failure, it's on me.
No, I love the idea.
But if people dig it, I will take credit. But
the first thing I said when Mike pitched the idea was, in my head, I just see, oh my gosh, oh, the play that I just witnessed. I wish I could describe to you what I just saw. It's absolutely amazing. Nobody in the history of football has ever seen what I have just seen.
Well,
just turn the camera around, let me see it.
But you'll see that everything is, and I think people dig it. I think you get to see kind of, the action, how they're going, how they're trying to spot stuff, how they're,
how they talk with their hands.
Yeah. And, the highest of emotions, the lowest of emotions. Whenever those things come, you get to see it all. So, but that's how we're going to do it. But I highly recommend you get your tickets. Go through the link there to go. I believe we
have to actually.
We have the link on our on our Facebook page.
They won't accept cash at the gate, I guess.
So if you go to our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook page, you'll find a link to purchase tickets to go to the game on Saturday. So
I'm holding out to see if we get access to the suite this Saturday.
Either way, I will be here.
I need to get my tickets.
And then, of course, Saturday night is Santa's Talent Search.
Oh, that's right.
With the
Roswell Community Theater.
Yep. Matter of fact, we're going to get them on tomorrow, but I'll be doing that Saturday night. So
that's right. You grinching it up?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine you go invest in a whole new costume. See, Mike went out and he got professional with it. He had like a tailor come in, take his measurements.
Costume. What? I am the Grinch.
I embody that.
That is not a costume, sir.
That's right.
That is me.
He walks through the audience, looks for one kid, and goes, "I take your candy cane."
That's right. I'm a complete savage.
He goes real "There Will Be Blood" with it.
That's right. So. All right, we're gonna play. We're gonna replay an interview this hour. I had the DA's office, and we had or last week actually. We had Jeannie Yeager with the DA dogs and Beaumont, the DA dog, and Dennis Kentice. We talked a little bit about that program. So we're going to play that interview here in just a minute. Next hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay an interview we had with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot. He joined us yesterday. Always gives us sage advice when it comes to financing for your home. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Geneva Martinez with the organization Many Hands will be joining us. I believe our very own Jocelyn will be joining her as well. They've got a winter coat drive that's about to get underway, and we'll talk about that. They're looking for clothing donations to help the homeless here in our community, so we'll talk about that and how you can get involved. And, of course, we'll talk more about the Many Hands organization itself, too. So, plus we'll have all of your normal features, news on all that good stuff, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's get you into your weather. And then we're going to go right into your Roswell Livestock recap, quick break, and then our interview with the DA's office. So all that coming up here in just a few minutes. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through Thanksgiving Day and likely through Friday. We have a high-pressure system moving in from the Intermountain states. Upper 50s and a little bit breezy today with plenty of sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cool, dropping into the low 30s, and then we're in the low 60s and sunny for Wednesday, moving into the mid-60s with sunshine for Thanksgiving Day. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 2,511 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold steady to 3 lower, feeder cattle $5 higher, packer cows and bulls steady to $2 lower, 3 to 400 pound steers $302, $335, 3 to 400 pound heifers $267, $275, 4 to 500 pound steers $267, $302. 4 to 500 pound heifers $247, $267, 5 to 600 pound steers $248, $267, 5 to 600 pound heifers $227, $247, 6 to 700 pound steers $232, $248, 6 to 700 pound heifers $212, $227, 7 to 800 pound steers $215, $232, 7 to 800 pound heifers $185, $212, packer cows $90 to $101.50. Canner and cutter cows $80 to $85, packer bulls $110, $122, feeder bulls $80 to $90, top half the cow calf pairs $1,400 to $1,775 per pair, top half the bred cows $1,200 to $1,450 per head. We do appreciate the business. Happy Thanksgiving. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Something big is coming to Roswell Nissan. Invoice pricing. You heard that right. Invoice pricing on all new Nissan vehicles on the lot. And that means your dream ride is within reach. So whether you're eyeing the sleek sophistication of a Sentra, the adventurous spirit of a Rogue, or the powerful roar of a Titan, they've got it all, and it's waiting for you at Roswell Nissan at Invoice Pricing. Brace yourself for the best pricing and the best savings of the entire year during Roswell Nissan's all-week-long Black Friday sale. Now through Saturday at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
A dining set is the staple of family gatherings. It's It's where you spend holidays, where you help your kids with their homework. It's an entertainment setting for game nights or new recipes. Your dining room is a centerpiece of style and design. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. Here at Glenn's, we bring quality to the modern dining room. Our selection is extensive with clean lines and subtle curves, from traditional to contemporary with wood or stone tops. Stylize your dining room at Glenn's on Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
At New Mexico Gas Company, our priority is your safety. That's why we add a rotten egg smell to natural gas, to help alert you of the presence of natural gas. So if you ever notice a rotten egg smell, it might be a natural gas leak. We recommend that you leave the area immediately. And from a safe distance, call New Mexico Gas Company at 1-888-NM-GAS-CO or 911. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the District Attorney's Office, 5th Judicial District. There you go. That's what I was trying to spit out there. Dennis Kentai, and of course Jeannie Yeager, who is your, I guess your official title is like victims advocate, or you're the one that really helps the witnesses and things like that. I can botch your. I know what you do. I just botch your title.
I have a couple of titles, but there's 10 victim service coordinators in our district.
Gotcha.
I'm one of those.
And you're one of those,
yeah.
But you kind of have the special moniker of you're the keeper of the DA dogs.
She's a dog mom.
Yes, she's a dog mom.
Coordinator for the program.
Yes, and also joining us, I did not introduce, and I need to, is one of the DA dogs, Beaumont, which Beaumont's been on before. Beaumont is actually Beaumont's on the chair today, but now he's feeling a little mommy, need a little mommy time. He's kind of been cuddled up with mom here, but
which is nice on cold days.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a good day for that because how big's Beaumont? About 80 pounds, 90 pounds. How big 85 pounds.
No.
Okay. So Beaumont's a big boy.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with dogs like Beaumont. They're 85 pounds, but they think they're lap dogs.
Yes.
They think they're 15. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And when we travel, this guy, when it's me and him, we sleep on the same bed, of course, and he has to share my pillow, and he snores like a freight train.
Oh, my gosh.
And he likes to lay on top of me, so if the room's hot, he's done this to me, he's standing over me, breathing in my face, telling me it's hot, and I'm like, get off of me and it will cool off. But he is a big snuggler.
Good. But for folks that aren't familiar, if you have missed some of our previous conversations, these dogs they're really very valuable tools for the district attorney's office. What these pets are, you probably heard of the Casa dogs and kind of, the DA dogs are very much the same kind of thing. They are the calm in the room for a lot of times the district attorney's office are dealing with victims and witnesses and things like that, and a lot of emotions are up. People are not necessarily in a mood to talk or share or relive some of the horrors that they went through, and the DA dogs serve as a bit of a reminder that humanity is still in the room and gives a chance to.
But they're canines, so
yeah. But it's the love, the whole.
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't care. Everybody says
different breed.
Yeah.
They just want to cuddle and snuggle and love you and not judge
and so they by default they come in the room and de-escalate.
Yes.
And they de-escalate and they make people feel a little bit more comfortable and hopefully more willing to share their stories because without their tesmoney, the district attorneys, the DAs can't do their job. They just can't do it.
Not at all. And
exactly.
And our dogs, a little difference is our dogs are for the criminal process, from when they come into our office to the completion of a case. So they are there continually. Like I said, we've got the 4 dogs.
Yeah.
We've got Kiki and Beaumont and
I got
Roswell.
your cheat sheet cards if you need them. I still got. They have cards that I got last time, and I still got them. Of course, there's Tina.
She's in Lee County.
Duke
is in Carlsbad.
And then you mentioned Kiki.
Kiki and Beaumont are here in Chavez
And
County.
then Beaumont, which I guess because that's Gina's baby's kind of the lead dog. I'm going to guess. Just
Not lead dog, but he and
the
I.
busier of the
Well, we're
quartet.
probably the ones that are like out front.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking more so. Everybody else, I mean, they do as much as I do.
They're in the trenches doing their
They're
thing.
just like, Gina, you do all the talking, and
Beaumont gets
can
the
be out there.
publicity, so Beaumont's kind of the star.
Well, Beaumont's just like, oh, I'm going to tag along with Mom again. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But the other dogs do just as much work, and their handlers are amazing, better than me most times.
I bet when you're
so-
out in public, you make a lot of friends. Because anytime you're just with a dog, people want to come and talk to you. You know what I mean?
We have to plan 30 minutes earlier because it's going to take us that long to get in kind of crowd, because we do make friends, and that's what we're here for.
People love dogs.
Yeah,
People, that's the
so-
whole point of it. That's why they're there.
And that's the good thing about this program is these guys make us human.
Yeah.
And so they get to see that we are human and that we are compassionate, and
Yep.
we're
You're
doing
not
things.
the people in the
Yes.
suits. Yeah, exactly.
We're doing things to make it easier as much as we can for them to come in and talk to us and tell their story.
Yeah, it's a tool. And here's the great part. This really is kind of a homegrown thing through the 5th. This kind of, this is the first district really in the state to embrace this and do this. And now you guys are kind of becoming the example for the rest of the districts in the state right now with this program.
It's a blessing and a curse
At the same time.
because if we mess up, then we mess up for the state because all eyes are watching us.
Sure.
So our dogs and our handlers have to be spot on, which they are.
Yeah.
Which
Well, the
I'm
good news
so
is
glad.
we're seeing more and more of this in the state. So
Yes.
this what the idea is, it's the rule instead of the exception is what
Right.
we want to, where we just come to expect to see dogs in the room because that's how standard operating procedure dictates. You know?
New Mexico needs to catch up on a law that allows the court facility dogs in the courtroom.
Okay.
Many other states in the United States have a law, and we are trying to get one passed as well,
Okay.
that allows these dogs to be in the courtroom with victims and witnesses that need them.
We got a legislative session coming up in a few
So
months.
we need
Legislators,
some
listen up.
backing, and we need to talk to people about getting this throughout the state, because this program, I mean, we've traveled throughout the state, and like you said, there's more dogs out there, but we
Absolutely.
need more dogs. And I think if we had the law that states this, it wouldn't be such a fight.
Absolutely.
So if we could get some help, somebody reach out, talk to me.
To be honest, I don't understand the negative there. What pushback would someone offer as a negative for that?
It's new.
Yes.
Yeah.
And nobody understands it until they see it. And once they see it, they understand.
Okay.
Because if you see the process, you can get the answers out easier with a person when they have the support.
So they
right
need to
there
kind of
with them.
see someone kind of clammed up and then see the dog
Yes.
come in and then see them open up
Yes.
a little bit. Makes sense. Yeah.
That's how the process works. That's how we get
Yep.
justice.
Yeah.
Either way. I mean, we get
Absolutely.
the truth, or we get the truth one way or the other.
Sure. And that's just it. And that's kind of shifting gears a little bit. This is why I love having the DA's office on every month, is to educate and to see
Bingo.
the perspective of what prosecutors and what the DA's office is trying to do. Because we all hear crime bad, we need to throw more people in jail. But and trust me, everyone in the DA's office agrees with you.
Oh yeah.
Completely agrees with you.
We're out there trying.
But there's only so many tools in the bag that they
Right.
have. There's only so much money. There's only so many judges. There's only so many,
Laws.
and to be honest, people that deserve harsher penalties get off because the system really is, there's not enough funding. There's not enough personnel. There's not enough people in there to handle the caseloads, and things slip through the cracks. And so, so you guys deal with the fold of one side of it, just having the resources to do it. But then comes the other side, which is getting people to cooperate, getting people, which is in and of itself as big or not bigger issue than maybe the side of having the tools to do the job.
So lately, my primary role has been serving subpoenas.
Mhm.
I'm out trying to get people to either participate in what we call preliminary hearing, which is where the case is initially heard by a judge, and a decision is whether or not it goes forward. It has a minimum of probable cause been established. Then we also have what are called pretrial interviews, PTIs is what we call them. And what it is, it's where the defense attorney gets an opportunity to speak to the witnesses for the prosecution,
Gotcha.
usually over the phone.
Now, when those are done, the defendant is not, and that's a lot of times too. The people think, well, he's going to be in the same room. They're not. The defendant's not there.
Just
It's
the attorneys for the defendant.
And our prosecutors, our investigators.
Generally,
and
the
our
only time the
advocates.
defendant's in the room is during the actual court proceeding, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're not in the other meetings and things. They're in their own meetings with their own lawyers and stuff,
So-
not with the prosecution side.
Both the prelim and the PTIs are done either online or through the phone. So you do it remotely. Then, of course, there's trial, or we're subpoena. But the challenge is, and this is where I think the true beauty of these dogs is when you have traumatized victims
Or witnesses.
and witnesses, because some of them, they just want this to go away.
Right.
Okay.
They don't want to relive it. They don't want to talk about it.
They want to move past it.
They want to move past it, but that's not going to get the justice done that needs to happen. So Gina and her team, like I've said this before, and I started in this line of work 40 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the evolution, and this is such an improvement in how we treat the victims of crime. And sometimes a witness, even though they're not, quote, the victim, are in fact victimized.
Absolutely.
By
Sure.
the whole, they just
Intimidations
observing.
to just their own mental, and factor in the fact that, yes, we're the biggest small town in southeast New Mexico. Yeah, we got a lot of people, but we have a small time mentality. A lot of people swim in multiple different circles.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that side of it
yes.
that you guys have to deal with as well. And here's the thing that I always want to offer with, like, I understand when you people victims or witnesses and you go through a very traumatic experience and reliving it and rehashing it or redoing it is, for your own brain, you feeling like this isn't the right thing to do. And the only real piece of advice that I could really Beaumont says, I've had enough of this.
Quit talking about me.
He's like, well, if you turn the chair around, I'll have a place to rest my head.
Right.
But what I love about it is because here's the thing, it's you deal with the trauma and everything, and our brain processes and does to kind of protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, in my personal experience, I get it. You go through a tragic event and you just want to put it past you, move along. But unfortunately, the human brain, the way it works, for you to truly heal from this incident, it's not going to be overnight. But you got to create some kind of closure.
Yep.
You've got to put a stamp on it, even if it's not a happy ending. But at least there's closure, so you can finally, in your brain, not process, because that's what I think happens. Is it's no different than PTSD or anything we talk about, military and all that. If you're the victim or you experience a traumatic event, you're going to replay it, relive it, overinflate it, and it's going to eat you alive if you let it. And sometimes going through the process, whether it's to find justice or to deal with that, sure, it's not going to solve the problem, but it at least gives you, okay, there's some closure here. I can take this point in my life and now move on to a thing. And trust me, by not stepping forward, I know at the moment it feels like the right thing to do, but that's going to be something that could be a year from now, could be 10 years from now. It's going to be messing with you the rest of your life.
Well, like one of the things that Gina's team's dealing with is you get a conviction. The latest murder case we had here.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in sentencing is set for sometime in December. I've forgotten the date, but meeting with the victims' families to prepare an assessment, a statement. What was the impact? And you guys were doing that.
So this is Lainey's case, but we meet with our victims. We do an impact statement. It's their last word to tell everybody how this affected them. Let the judge know what they went through. Them to be able to talk to the defendant and let them know, you put me through this.
Right.
Sometimes, most of the time, I will say 90% of the time, that is really good for them to get out. It's really hard.
It is.
And we have to sit down and talk to them and say, okay, so tell me. And then, okay, let's put that down on paper. Let's get that out.
But at the end of the day, that victim has that right to do that.
They have that right.
And please, I get it. It's the hardest thing to do, but for your own mental health and your own peace of mind, it's going to hurt that day, but I think it's going to give you some closure and give you so So when you're apprehensive to, I hope to God no one in our audience has to get put in these scenarios.
No.
But if you do,
They're out there.
please.
And as
cooperate.
advocates, victim service coordinators, advocates, what we try to do is we find local services for the victims and witnesses to get that help for them, to help them get stronger and stronger every day. So on top of the dogs, having that service, we also have services in the community that we explain to our victims.
Yeah. And that's the difficulty of the district attorney's job, because at the end of the day, the things you're prosecuting and those are black and white things. But the details in every single one of these are as gray as can be. Yeah. And you've got to turn gray into black and white. And that's kind of, it's very, it hits emotions. It hits a lot of, and that's why, it's one of the hardest jobs out there to do. But if you do it, it is also the most rewarding, because I'm guessing, there's the hard days where you don't see the successes, but those days where you finally see a victim get some justice and you finally see that their life is starting to get back to something they want it to be, that's the victory for you guys, is to see
it's
that.
a victory for them, and we can see that, and knowing that, that they are finally there, because it takes a while. It takes seven visits for some DV victims to actually be ready. And when they're ready, we're there. We're gonna contact. We're gonna reach out no matter how many times.
Sure.
But we are there.
And I would imagine too, not only do you get that, but you have to deal with the roller coaster. Well, one day they're ready, and then the next day, you know what I mean?
I mean,
like
I have days like
again.
that when I'm ready to go to work and when I'm not ready, and that's a minor thing in my life.
Sure.
So a major event like that, I can understand the roller coaster, and I understand the emotions. And we've been doing this, and we have training to handle that kind of situation.
But that's
and
something you guys deal with pretty
them,
regular, I'm
and
guessing.
we let them do their roller coaster and explain it, and we just stand there and let them know that we're here.
Well, and I always believe that at the end of the day, the human brain is going to process things the way it processes things. We can all try to guide it or steer it in a certain way, but people are people. Until that light bulb or whatever switch in their head happens, and then there's not a thing anybody else on the planet can do about that. I mean, we can try, but at the end of the day, it's that person's decision that's going to be the one that decides what you do there.
Another dynamic in this whole thing, and keep coming back to the victim advocates, is, well, where's the attorney? Where's the attorney? These attorneys, we always use the phrase about drinking from a fire hose, but that's it. There is this trial coming up in 2 weeks. There's another trial coming up 2 weeks after that, and they are doing your victim advocates are the ones who build the relationships with the victims. Not that the attorneys don't care. That's not true. They care, but their challenge was they've got to deal with what's right in front of them.
Sure.
And that's the next trial.
Well, and this
they've
gets
got to
into job descriptions and what jobs are due. And when you look at your district attorneys, they're attorneys. Their whole job is the legal side of it.
Yep.
And that's where their training is. Therefore, those people, you need to be doing those things. There's so much work and so much caseload that literally the district attorneys don't have time to deal with the emotions and the heart, because they are so busy filing the motions, doing the black and white legal side. That's why it's so important for the advocates like Gina to come in and do that legwork, where their training and their background is dealing with people, dealing with emotion, and getting the information that the district attorney can do. And so when it does come to that time where maybe the DA has to do a witness interview or testimony, then Gina or someone like Gina has been working with that witness the whole time to get them to a point where they feel comfortable telling their story on the stand. That's what the DAs have so much legal ease on their plate that they don't have time to do the human side sometimes. They would love to and want to, and they get just as mad and just emotional about it too, but because of the nature of their job and because there's so few of them, that they really have to pigeonhole into exactly what they're trained to do, because there's not enough of them to do anything outside of that.
And I'm going to give a shout out to all the assistants in our district too, because they keep those attorneys on track.
Yeah.
Without them keeping, this deadline's done, this deadline's done. I mean, these attorneys wouldn't know what to do without their assistants. So, I mean, it is not just victim advocates and DAs. I mean, there's a whole slew of people that from the ground up that are involved in these cases. And in our office, and I'm sure it's throughout the office. I can't speak since I don't work in those offices, but I know that if I am stuck in a place, if I need something, I can call an assistant to help me. And they're right there with me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not just DAs and advocates that are out there.
But everyone has kind of their specialized areas.
Their specialized area, but we are a team, and it takes the village.
Absolutely.
To do this.
Well, it's the same thing with like your investigators. The investigators, the attorneys don't have time to knock doors and check and do all. That's why the investigator. I mean, we all watch movies and everything, but DA's office ain't like Matthew McConaughey. And he go walk and knock on the door, then go be the lawyer, and then go do the clerk stuff.
No.
You know, that's not feasible in the real world.
Not any of that.
And so your lead investigators are that people that do the role, that go do the legwork. I need more evidence. I need more details for this.
They're an extra set of eyes on the case for us.
Your side of the thing, they're the ones that saying getting the victims and the witnesses ready to be able to do their job on the stand. You know, everyone plays their part in here, and they all work in concert together, but they're specialized in their services.
Yes.
And quite frankly, I don't think you want a DA doing what you do. And I don't think you want you doing what the DA does. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of, it's by design and the way it should be a little bit here.
And, the one thing I will say is when we do have our meetings and something comes up, we can take it to either our DAs or our investigators to look at something that was mentioned and bring it into the case. Because sometimes when people report, they're so flustered that they don't remember everything. But when we meet with them, they're like, oh, and this, and it's like, okay, well, I didn't see that. And they're like, oh, yeah, I didn't mention that, but it came up.
Yeah.
And so it's a good thing for us to go back and talk to these people and learn more about the case. So that's where our investigators come in as well and learn more.
Another challenge is these cases that are, shall we say, in some ways delayed. For example, either cold homicide, and I'm thinking of one in particular.
COVID has really backed us up.
I would imagine. You guys are still bailing out of COVID.
So, and then there's late notification on CSP, criminal sexual penetration, or CSC. It's where someone's been victimized and they've held it in, and then they finally get to the point to share it. Those become challenging in ways, from my perspective, is finding the witnesses, candidly, there's this one coming up, and I've been so
beating the bushes,
frustrated, trying to track down some of these people for pretrial interviews. And I'm getting close, but I've had to apologize to the office because I'm not able to serve subpoenas for prelims because this is a murder case.
Yeah.
And although it's a PTI as opposed to a prelim, I'm like, I'm sorry, I just can't get to these people.
Well, and that's that's that onus on us too. If you do see things, step up. If you do, and I guarantee, we all want to live in a wonderful, safe community. We want to have it to our families can play in the parks and walk down the streets and not have to worry about a thing. We all want that. The only way that happens is do your part. When crime happens, when victims are treated badly, when things happen, when crimes are broken. I get it. The not my problem mindset is very much human nature, but the only way to make this better is to step forward, is to be the brave person, to be that, because I'm telling you, that victim cannot thank you enough for doing your service, to be that witness or to be that piece of evidence that gets that person convicted. I know it's hard, but you gotta step up and do it, because if you don't, the rest of your life is going to be defined by these kind of things.
So I always tell when I'm talking about a case, I always describe it as a big puzzle.
Okay,
so we have law enforcement's piece, we have our piece, we have the victim's piece, but we're still missing that one piece if there's a witness that can say, oh yeah, this can corroborate one side or the other.
And we know they're there, but they don't necessarily want to get involved.
They're either scared or they're just, like you said, it's not my problem.
Sure. Yep.
And
I've run into that lately, and it frustrates me.
I understand, because sometimes you're just I don't have time.
Sure.
I have my own life and I need to deal with that. But when you put yourself in that person's position, would you want that witness to step up for you.
When you're the victim, you want
Yes.
everybody to step up. And
So that mindset of it's not my problem, it could be, and
Yeah.
you would want somebody on your side. So we work really, really hard with witnesses, and sometimes it's harder than others because it's families, it's different things. But think of it as, if it was you, would you want somebody to step up for you?
doing the right thing is never the easy thing to do.
It's never easy.
But I guarantee, if you do the right thing, you're going to be okay at the end. That's I believe that in my heart. It's never the wrong to do the right thing, and the harder it is, it may be tough to get through, but at some point you're going to have closure. You're going to be able to sleep at night and understand, well, I did the thing that was right. Because I'm telling you now, when you put your head in the sand and all, at the moment it feels like you're not involved, but that's going to affect you. If you're any kind of a human with a soul, at some point that you're going to be like, I feel really bad because I didn't do the right thing there. And then you're dealing with your own mental health and that kind of thing. And we don't want that to tear you up either. So I know it's not hard. I know it's hard. I know it's easier to take the path of least resistance at that moment sometimes, but doing the right thing here and this is how we make a better place. We got to stand up and do our duty sometimes.
We do, and we were talking about jurors and jury duty.
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing.
Witnesses.
Speaking of duty.
I mean, it's just, like I said, it's a big puzzle piece, and each part of it has a role in the justice system.
Sure.
We need the jurors. They're the ones that can say, well, yes, guilty or not guilty, and we need those people to be there to complete the justice system, because that's why it's set up the way it is.
Exactly.
And then you guys were telling me, off air here that juries they're having really issues getting people serving right now. A lot of people aren't serving. They're getting out of it or not showing up to service. And this is a real problem. We need to address. I mean, I get it. There's a million jokes on how to get out of jury duty and all the things and all of this. And I it's funny to talk about that, but at the end of the day, being a juror is one of those civic duties. It's as important as voting to me.
So was it last week or the week before in Carlsbad? Our team is ready to go to trial on a murder case, if I remember right.
I'm not sure what kind of case it was.
But in any case, they sent out the notices for jurors to show up. They did not have enough people show up because, some people get excused for various reasons. Some are good reasons, some are not so good, but they still get excused. In the end, they didn't have enough to come up with the 12 jurors and 2 alternates usually.
Depending on the type of case, yes.
Yeah.
And how did that end up?
Mistrial.
Yeah, it didn't end up, we're going to reschedule it. No, that person.
Well, it's going to be rescheduled, but now it's pushed down to
It doesn't get dismissed. It just gets reset later on down the road.
If this is a heinous crime here.
Yes. And it's going to be moved to another.
Did it. That's.
Yeah, it's actually coming to Roswell from Carlsbad.
I think.
But I think I did. That's the change
we just
of
need
venue.
Everybody. I mean,
so
the
please.
community. Yes, the community is an essential part of getting justice, doing the justice system.
If you get that letter in the mail, please don't try to get out of it. Do your duty.
And it's very interesting to be in that. It's not like CSI.
I
or
enjoyed
Law
it,
and Order. I mean, you're going to see a different side of. You're going to see real life.
Yeah.
And you're going to get to see a bunch of stuff. So it's interesting to see how that works. I mean, we get to see it a lot.
And to be honest,
but it's interesting.
I will tell you from my own experience, serving on juries, I've done it multiple times, and I enjoyed the experience each and every time. Yeah, I'm dealing with heavy stuff and all that, but just I love to see how the sausage is made and everything I do. And, and from a juror's perspective, there is no other better perspective to see how our judicial system works. And I will tell you this right now. I know you all see movies and TV and watching how juries deliberate. I'm telling you, in the real world, it is nothing like that. I've served on at least 2 juries that went to actual where a jury made a decision.
The deliberation.
Both times, deliberating, and both times it was nothing like that. It's nothing. Yeah. It really is. It's basically. And it's simpler than you think. It's really, did you get a checklist that says, that of the charges. Yep. And it's really just going down and say, did the prosecution meet the evidence to this charge? To this? And then you discuss about where is this? Is that enough? Yeah, it is. All right. Box checked. No, it's not. Box not checked. That's really jury deliberation. Is was it discussed in that courtroom? And there is always that tricky part, but this is why there's the deliberation. Do you know this person? Because in theory you want an unbiased, impartial jury.
You have to have it.
That is
Sixth
by
Amendment
law.
guarantees, and it's not a jury of your peers. There's a lot of people think that. The Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution reads an impartial jury.
Yeah.
So you jurors, you park your partialities, your preconceived stuff
and you all
at the
have them. We all
door
do.
to the courthouse, and you go in there and you listen to the evidence, and you listen. This is the other key thing. You listen to the law.
Mm-hmm.
The evidence is going to come to you from the witnesses. What the attorneys say is not evidence. They will make statements. They will try to summarize it and put it in context.
They're trying to break it down in layman's terms for you.
But the evidence is the witness testimony.
Yeah.
And then the law are the instructions the judge gets you. Now, the interesting thing about instructions, too, is this. Those are agreed on by both parties. They will get together with the judge. This is stuff the jury never sees.
Sure.
They will hammer all this out
The
ahead
rules
of time.
were set.
And so it's everybody's. This is the rules. We all, the judge, defense, prosecution, all agree these are the rules we're going to play by.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go out there try to create your own rules. Listen to what the judge says.
It's very
Listen
simple.
to the witnesses.
It makes a very complex situation very simple. And here's another thing. You're doing your civic duty, and everyone in that room gets that, and they treat you very well. That's the thing that jurors are treated like VIPs in courtrooms because, well, they're very sheltered because you're going to be kicked out and kicked into rooms because they have discussions they don't want you privy to.
Right.
So you do get moved around a lot. But outside of that, you guys are priority one in that room for the most part. If what says and goes does, and yes, and so it's a pleasurable experience as far as if you kind of like being kind of catered to a little bit. You kind of get that as a juror.
One of the interesting things is that jury comes in, judge orders everybody to stand up.
Yeah, you're the rock star in the room.
Jurors go out.
Yeah,
everybody stands up.
Yeah,
and the judges themselves as well. Everybody stands to show respect.
Very respectful.
But they're also thankful because let's face it, no one wants to do your job, but it is the most important job in the room.
Correct.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important. That's why take it seriously. If you get that letter in the mail, don't look at it as, oh man, how can I get out of this? Look at it as, okay, I need to make arrangements, but this is my chance to give back to my community.
And we appreciate the juries. I mean, the jurors and everything that their word is final.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So either way, what we presented was either enough or it wasn't. And we understand and we learn that we've got to get better if it comes back that the juries are like, you guys didn't.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's your bar too, is those juries. Yeah.
We respect their decisions. It's not like, I mean, of course we want them all to come back.
Sure.
We do. But if we can't meet our burden, then it's on us. And they let us know that it was on us.
But it also probably makes you better attorneys. Because now for the next
it
case, you're like, oh, lesson learned. I should have pursued this angle. That's what, and so that's, it is that it's you're such an important part of you're arguably the biggest cog in that big machine right there.
One of the interesting things, I don't do it here, but back when I was in the FBI, I go to trial, would talk to jurors afterwards. And it was always a fascinating thing to hear.
And we can't do that.
No, you guys can't.
We can't do that.
Yeah, the prosecutors can't, the attorneys
You can't talk to a jury. Nobody can talk to a jury until their service is done and if they want to be talked to.
That is
that's
volunteer,
another thing.
That's the state system.
So that's the state
That's
system.
why all the OJ jurors wrote books years later.
Yeah.
Right.
But the interesting thing is, those of us on the prosecution team know this case, all kinds of things.
Sure.
And yet what the jurors get isn't that, and sometimes, decisions are made for various reasons that, well, we're not going to go with this, we're not going to go with that. And
well, then some way, depending on how the evidence was obtained, you're not allowed to show it at all, even though it's very incriminating evidence. But
true,
that's the
there's
rules
other
you
things
deal with.
Other things that we, and this is where your good prosecutors get really, really become obviously how skilled they are, because they know how to be succinct. But not to weaken the case. And that's an art form.
Absolutely.
It really is very
to
interesting.
sway but not go over the line.
Yeah, because you don't want to bury the jurors, but you don't want to fail to get it. And I always found it fascinating to watch while the prosecutors in their heads, the ones I've worked with over the years, would pare things down and get right to the case.
I would imagine there's a few psychology classes in lawyer school.
Oh, yeah.
Just guessing. But I just saw the time we need to go. Real quick, if you want to support our DA dogs, what's the best way? Because this is all nonprofit. Everything that the DA dogs do is through the public's generosity. So
That's correct.
We would love for you to continue to support. What's the best way to help you guys? I know we just did the golf
if you
tournament.
want to give to the dogs and not to the government for a tax write-off, we have our 501(c). You can contact me, of course. We have a P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 8160 here in Roswell, 88202. You can contact Gina at 626-2422. Of course, we would love to get your money, but we want to keep this program going. And I just want to let you guys know that there will be hopefully a new dog next year.
Ooh,
we're working on
I'm
it.
going to need a new card.
I know. So we need those funds coming in. So thank you guys.
And don't forget, the DA dog program it's not funded by any government thing.
No.
It's
No tax dollars.
strictly grassroots generosity of people like yourselves donating here. So please donate as much as you can to that, because this program is probably one of the best new tools.
He's like, okay, I know we're done.
Well, he's over here checking me out. But Beaumont's visiting. But Beaumont liked me saying give money to him. So he's like, hey, I'm your buddy now. But please reach out. Please support this because let's face it, this is, if you want to see better justice system, this is one of the best ways to support it, because I think, once this is a staple in every DA's office, you're going to see better results from that. So, good deal. Thank you, guys. Beaumont?
He's right here.
You got the rule of the roost. Beaumont goes where Beaumont goes.
Yep.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank
We'll
you.
see y'all next month. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you guys before
Happy
before
Thanksgiving,
then.
guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And we'll see you here in December.
Yep.
All right. It
All right.
is 8:57. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
On Wall Street this morning, stocks so far in the red. The Dow is down 80 points. The Nasdaq off 74. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out?
Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Korea tells Japan it plans to launch a satellite in the coming days that would violate UN resolutions.
The North's eager to operate spy satellites to deal with what it calls escalating US-led military threats. But its two previous attempts to place a spy satellite into orbit earlier this year ended in failure due to technical issues. A Japanese Coast Guard spokesperson says the notice identifies 3 maritime zones where debris from the rocket carrying the satellite may fall. 2 are in the waters between the Korean Peninsula and China, and the 3rd in the Philippine Sea. The North's notification comes a day after rival South Korea warned it to cancel its launch or face consequences. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Germany's defense minister visiting Ukraine. He's vowing to keep supporting Kiev's efforts in its war against Russia. The trip coming a day after Defense Secretary Austin traveled to Ukraine, pledging $100 million more in U.S. weaponry. Townhall.com. Some of the titans of tech are being summoned to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee to testify about what they're doing to keep kids safe online.
Chairman Dick Durbin and Republican ranking member Lindsey Graham fired off a subpoena on Monday to the CEOs of Discord, Snap, and X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. In a press release, the senators say members will get a chance to question the CEOs about what they call their failures to protect children online. The hearing is set for December 6th. Bob Agnew reporting.
State authorities investigating after a California Highway Patrol officer shot and killed a man on a Los Angeles area freeway during a struggle over the weekend. The deadly encounter occurred Sunday afternoon during a struggle with a man who was seen walking along Interstate 105. The CHP says the man refused to leave the freeway. That led to a struggle during which the man tried to shock the officer with a stun gun. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Holiday Tuesday, everybody.
Yes.
The final day before the day of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is like, I think this is the last, probably mostly stress-free day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because tomorrow's like the busiest travel day of the year, which means everyone's going to be stressed out trying to get to their destination.
Well, actually, according to the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, today and tomorrow have been declared the busiest days of the year.
Oh, Buttigieg. Stretching the dates out, huh?
That's right.
Well, it's because we all know what's going to happen next.
Well, they said they're expecting to be 4 million more people or 4% more people on the road this year than last year.
Oh, and I'm going to say the reason why is because a lot of people have lost faith in the airline industry after seeing the fine example of what they've done the last several holidays.
Well, that, and also there's a whole lot of issues with, it's not a strike necessarily, but basically they've told airline workers that they have to show up for work even if they're not going to be paid, and so a lot of people are just not showing up.
That's that job thing, you know. They always say no time off kind of thing. Well, the airline industry, no time off for the time that everyone else wants time off. It's part of the job.
That's right.
If you want to be a pilot or flight attendant or working in an industry, that's what goes with that job.
Yep. Just like if you enjoy your Saturdays and having them to yourself, don't get into radio.
Or if you can't drive in bad weather, don't get in radio.
Yeah.
Because in bad weather, you're the idiot that's driving to get to the place to tell everyone else to stay home.
Yeah. Also, storm chasing, probably not your bag.
Right. But that's part of the gig. I get it. Everyone's like, well, I want time off. I do too. But the airline industry doesn't have enough employees to do what they got to do. The air traffic controllers, they can have enough of those, and so it's gonna be just like it was last year and the year before. They're gonna have people, stuck in airports for days because they don't have enough staff to do what they got to do. They're going to blame some weather. They're already trying. Look, there's a weather front. They do this every time in the East Coast. It's not the weather that's going to cause it. It's going to be because they can't keep up with the demand. Yep. And And they're going to polish that turd all up with the weather and say it was because of this or that and excuse this.
Mhm.
But it's because they don't have enough people to do the van because COVID killed it.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to figure out how to get that back to normal. So anyway, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Be thankful, everybody.
If you're one of the people that have to travel less than 50 miles to get to Thanksgiving, consider yourself lucky. Give thanks for that.
Yes.
I am.
That's why I'm staying home and keeping it super simple.
Yes. Although my in-laws are breaking that, but just barely. I mean, well, not just barely, by about 150 miles. They're coming from Albuquerque, but that's not a big deal.
No.
Driving out from Albuquerque.
That's
is
a
not
day
big
trip.
deal. Yeah, we do that every day.
Mhm.
But folks that. But that's why there's going to be more people on the road because gas is cheaper.
Mhm.
Gas is a little cheaper than it was, for the holidays here. And the headaches of airline travel, people don't want to mess with that.
So your in-laws are coming down for Thanksgiving this year?
Roger Dodger. Yeah.
Are they going to be staying with you?
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Yeah, they'll come down Wednesday and.
Oh, you have that guest room. It should be fine.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll go home the weekend or something. I have no idea when they're leaving, but
It's not
somewhere on the weekend. I'm
not
thinking.
too packed of a house.
No. We're fine. It's
Mhm.
No, we'll have 6 total bodies enjoying Thanksgiving meal with us, and then because I have my in-laws and Gina Lana will be joining us as well.
Oh, nice.
And I'm letting them come because Lana said she's bringing a pumpkin roll. So,
Oh.
and that's ticket to admission.
Heck
Just
yeah.
kidding.
I actually didn't order one this year. Normally I get one ordered, but now I got to ask though. Do you go nuts in?
I cannot.
You cannot?
Because my wife doesn't eat nuts.
Oh, I see.
So yes, for me, but when it's shared, no.
Do you pick that bad boy up, just eat it like a burrito? Just face up and just covered in cream.
Like
pumpkin
my
crumbs.
wife loves banana bread, but will not eat banana nut bread.
That's crazy, though.
She doesn't like nuts.
Is it just a non-liking
Nor my
it thing?
sister, nor my sister-in-law. Her sister Amy, my sister-in-law, neither one of them eat nuts.
Wow.
Any kind of nuts. It's weird. Like
That's
and here's another weird one. And this one, and I fall into this weird one. Tomatoes. My sister-in-law hates tomatoes. My brother-in-law hates tomatoes. I hate tomatoes, and my wife hates tomatoes.
That's one of those weird things that I've never understood. When people say they hate tomato, it's like,
well, put it this way: raw tomatoes.
right? You have like spaghetti sauce and stuff, but like I know a guy who, despite every effort, will remove any semblance of raw tomato from a sandwich or from whatever. I don't understand it. It's not that.
It doesn't taste good.
It doesn't taste. I mean, it doesn't really have that big of a bolt of a flavor for it to be that noticeable.
To me, it does.
Wow,
it does.
That's like the cilantro people.
Well, it's a smell and it's a texture that it creates in your sandwich,
right?
That grosses me out.
It's like with the people who say that they don't like cilantro because they say it tastes like soap or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that there's like a certain genetic thing that separates.
Yeah.
But I will put cilantro on everything.
And see, I think people will use way too much cilantro.
Oh, there's no such thing.
Yeah, to me, when I get a burrito, and usually when it's too much, it's a beef steak carne asada type burrito. I'm like, look, I love it, but when you put so much cilantro that all I taste is cilantro, that's disgusting.
See, I don't have a problem with that.
I want to taste beef. I didn't want a cilantro burrito.
Jocelyn, can you isolate that clip? Can we use that as a drop?
If I wanted to taste cilantro, I ordered a cilantro burrito. I want a beef burrito. The star of the party is the beef, not the cilantro.
I mean, I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. I go cilantro heavy on pretty much everything. Cilantro and cumin is the other one. Like if it's something that's cumin heavy, I enjoy it.
I like some of these ingredients. I like them, but they go way over the top with them. You know, they start season your food. I get it, but you're over seasoning. Now you're losing the taste of the food that you're trying to eat initially.
Maybe this is something I should take up with my therapist, but this could be a sign of an addictive personality.
Yeah.
When somebody's like, "Well, you have a limit," you're like, "Oh, there's too much of a good thing." I'm like, "No. Load it up."
Well, and a lot of aspects of my life, I'm very much like people like, there's not enough bacon on there. What? Yes, of course, there's never enough bacon on something. but you know, like it's like some people put so much salt on things. I'm like, do you even taste things, or you just have to pour the salt directly on your tongue? You know, and I'm not one of those. And people. And I'm a big against salting things for the sake of salting things.
I will judge you if you salt food before you taste it.
There's one thing I will do that automatically with, and it's French fries. That's the one.
Really?
That I will, unless it's like McDonald's or something, but if it's generally like a homemade fry or if I get fries at a restaurant, I will always salt those first because usually they never put enough salt on a fry. For me. Past that, I don't salt anything else.
I don't really salt like homemade fries or anything because they do have a lot of salt on them. I will at least taste them first and then salt.
Well, generally, I just know like certain places I'll get French fries from and like I already know I got to salt it. You know? It's like I enjoy it because I'm like one of those people that go to Mexican restaurants and eat burritos and then get fries on the side. You judge me all you want, but that's what I do. And so I'm like, you guys need to put salt in your fries.
Burrito's not one of those things you should have sides for anyways. It's kind of an all-encompassing meal.
It is when you're fat and have a problem.
And we brought it back around to addictive personalities. I like that.
So when I tell you something's too much, you might want to listen because I'm what we call a gluttonous bum.
I like to push the limits.
Oh man, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to replay our interview we had with Elliot Rodriguez from Lone Depot. We have a guest. Who's our guest? I don't know. I can't tell. Who's our guest?
Hang on. I'll tell you in a second.
Okay. Is it Drew?
Tamara.
Oh, okay. Tamara Schubert's here. Oh, good. They're here early. Sweet. I was going to see if they're coming in later. Let's do them real quick. It didn't come out right. Let's have them on the radio then, and then we'll let them get out here. I didn't know Tamara Schubert's here. Sweet. I figured they'd be coming in a little later. Sweet. So let's do this. We'll have the folks from the Chavez County Extension Office join us. We'll try to work in that interview with Elliot Rodriguez shortly thereafter. I will stop talking about cilantro so we can get going. I thought they're coming a little later. Sweet. All right, let's get you updated with the weather, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll bring Tamara Schubert in, talk some Chavez County Extension Office stuff here. My brain's doing
Same.
something.
I've already got turkey on the brain.
Oh, I'm full in vacation mood. I've been thinking about turkey, and quite frankly, the moment Lana said she's bringing pumpkin rolls, I'm like, yeah. And here's the thing: what I love about this pumpkin roll thing, not everybody in the house can eat them.
Oh, that's right, because of the whole.
And unfortunately, only one of the people that can't eat them are going to be here. There are other people that can't eat them are going to be up in Albuquerque. But my mother-in-law has celiac, so we have to go gluten-free everything. It's a thing. And so we like when they come to visit, we have butter, and then we buy another butter because like if you butter your bread and everything, that contaminates that butter.
Oh, really?
So we have another butter for her to use so she can put it on her cornbread or whatever and not contaminate with the other stuff. So, but we do a cornbread dressing and all that. That's called gluten-free, but very good. This is the thing, when you have people in your house or in your family that can't eat gluten, you find out things that are gluten-free that are actually pretty good. Like, weirdly enough, I love gluten-free English muffins. They're heavier and kind of brick-like, but tasty as all get out.
You just described keto. Yeah. It's basically, you're just hunting, trying to find the thing that you can have that you like.
And be honest, she makes a pretty good chicken Alfredo that's all gluten-free that turns out very good, too. But anyway, we have to do a little of that. But that being said, one less pumpkin roll eater.
More for me. It's gluten full.
Yeah. Well, that's full of gluten. Give that to me. All right, 8:17. Here's your weather and a quick break. We'll be back.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through Thanksgiving Day and likely through Friday. We have a high-pressure system moving in from the Intermountain States. Upper 50s and a little bit breezy today with plenty of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear and cool, dropping into the low 30s, and then we're in the low 60s and sunny for Wednesday, moving into the mid-60s with sunshine for Thanksgiving Day. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. Or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Roswell Honda has knocked the stuffing out of the prices. Like a new 2024 Honda Civic Sedan for 3.9% for 48 months. A new Honda CR-V Sport Hybrid, leased now for just $369 a month. 2024 Honda Ridgeline 0.9% for 36 months. Or a new 2024 Honda Accord, now 2.9% for 48 months. Plus, no payments for 90 days, and super low monthly payments make this truly a November to remember. So don't be a turkey. Trot on down to the November to Remember sales event, on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd. When you can't be home, make your space feel more like home with Candlewood Suites, Roswell, New Mexico, featuring extended stay rooms, complete with kitchenettes in a quiet area, plus plenty of great amenities, including free hot coffee 24/7, and the Candlewood Cupboard 24-hour convenience store, plus the Candlewood Gym and free laundry facilities. Cool off in the outdoor pool, complete with hot tub, and enjoy the outdoor gazebo and grills. And the Candlewood Lending Locker for stuff you couldn't pack, like crock pots, board games, and more. Call 575-623-4300 to find out more. Candlewood Suites, where everyone here is sweet on you. Your home away from home.
It's back and bigger.
It's going to be intercepted.
And even better.
And has Beeman open. And he's got it. There's a dump pass for another touchdown.
The XL Energy Wool Bowl is back Friday, December 1st in Roswell, New Mexico. New Mexico's only college football bowl game below I-40. Food trucks, kids zone, pregame concert with Will Bannister. Purchase tickets now for only $5 at woolbowl.net.
Are you ready to make a real difference in your community? Introducing the New Mexico Army National Guard. Serve your community with pride and become a part-time hero. Join our dedicated team and enjoy the adventure of a lifetime. Get full-time benefits without sacrificing your current career or education. When disaster strikes and your community needs assistance, you'll be there to lend a helping hand. So don't miss out on the opportunity to receive education, adventure, and financial stability, all while serving your country. Get started by calling 1-800-GO-GUARD.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Extension Office, Tamara Schubert back with us. Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
You all ready for Thanksgiving, your family and everything?
I hope so, right?
All right.
If we're not, oh well.
like, does your family expect you to, because you do the home ec side of things, like you're supposed to be the one that knows all. Like, do they just by default say, well, Tamara's got Thanksgiving this year?
Actually, no. So we do Thanksgiving at my sister's house. And so I asked her the other day, I said, what do we need to bring? And she said, actually, just come help me cook. So,
all you got to do is be a sous chef on tomorrow on Thursday here. So,
yeah.
Or actually, today's Tuesday, so 2 days. I'm already in my brain's like, it's Wednesday, right? No, it's only Tuesday.
Oh, I know. It's been like that all week.
But that being said, if you're not familiar, of course, Tamara joins us between her and Drew each month here from the Extension Office. Tamara handles, she gets heavily involved with the 4-H side stuff, and then your healthy living home ec side of things as well, too. So, of course, you kind of wrapped up a busy season in here with the diabetes cooking sensation stuff. We just got the holiday, your annual holiday party where you kind of come and get the coveted Christmas recipe book that's full of craft ideas, food recipes, everything from the holiday season, and it's kind of like the 2023 edition.
And we have extras in the office, so if they missed us last week, come get them.
You can't be there. No sampling, no demos, but we can at least get you the book, and you can go and create some cool holiday treats and decor and ornaments and all kinds of stuff. You can get the family involved, the whole thing. So reach out, call Tamara at the extension office if you'd like to get a copy.
Absolutely.
Are they charging, what, $5 for them?
$5.
$5 will get you a book. They make great Christmas gifts too. If you
Stocking stuffers,
absolutely.
Yes.
And they're collectible. They're like Hummels or anything that spoons or whatever people collect. Each year's book is different craft ideas,
Absolutely.
different things, and how many years now do you have of those things? I mean, it's quite a few.
Well, and it's kind of evolved over the years. So I think this setup we've been doing close to 15 years when we looked at it.
So there's about 15 of these books, the deep, and that's the beauty of them. They're all timeless because it's food and craft ideas and things. So people love to collect them. So when the well runs dry, they're like, well, let's dip into the books and let's
go
see
back
what
a
we
few
got.
years. It's all new again.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty. It's like, oh, remember that thing we did 10 years ago? That was so great. Well, here's how we did it. And
I got that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Christmas. And then and imagine some families have created their own traditions out of that book. Maybe the book from 10 years ago has the dessert or has the dish that this is what we do at every one of our Thanksgivings or Christmas dinners.
Well, and so for some of our participants, it's their annual girls' night out or something like that, and so it's a great family event that they can come do. But we do have extra books and stuff in the office.
So you missed the party, but we can still have some of the party favors for that. And but please reach out, call the extension office. It's only $5, and that goes back to all the great extension programs and everything they do. But I'm guessing now's a good time, now we're wrapping up this year and thinking of next year, and, we're getting New Year's resolutions, things like that. So people are making resolutions and doing things to help to better themselves. Don't forget the Chavez County Extension Office is a resource to help you succeed in those resolutions and things like that.
Absolutely. We're wrapping up the last of our Prevent T2 classes next month.
Okay.
But if they are pre-diabetic or have been told they have a touch of diabetes, we do have another class starting in January.
So now's the time to get in and sign up because it's a year-long class. It's very much a support. It's I would say it's, think of it like for people who've done the Weight Watchers and those kinds of programs. Think of it that way, but much more educational.
It's a great support group. It is a year-long program for the first 16 weeks. We meet once a week, and it's a different lesson every week. You get incentives and goodies as we go along. We do track your weight and stuff like that, and encourage you. So with diabetes,
it gives you a support system.
Yes, they've determined if you lose as little as 10% of your weight, you can avoid that diabetes diagnosis.
And I think this is the thing too, that a lot of folks that are diagnosed diabetic or pre-diabetic is that change of lifestyle, what you're eating, how when you eat. There's a lot of different variables that cause it. And the more we do medical science on it, the more they're understanding. I mean, obviously, eating 60 cheeseburgers is not a good thing in a row, but
that's not good for any of us,
right? But there's a lot of predetermines on some people can get away with a little better than others, and family history, and so they're learning. There's a lot more variables than just what you put in your mouth. I mean, it's a big part of it, but there's other things, and it goes with how you're treating it too.
Your stress habits, your sleep habits, all of that plays a part in it. So,
but one of the other problems I think a lot of people that have been recently diagnosed or newly brought into this world is that, especially if you're not the one that prepares all your meals and does, if you live in a family and everything, you eat family meals and things. And so if the rest of the family isn't diabetic or there's going to be the nights where the cake comes out or and things that you really shouldn't be eating are there. And that's where it gets tough to do it because it's part of the family. You want to live, you want to.
She may need to take a bite or two versus half a.
But this program gives you people that are in the same scenario, same situation you are.
Absolutely.
Dealing with the same thing. So now you've got someone to talk to about that. Because you try to talk to your family, and they're not going to quite get it. I mean, they're going to love and support you, but at the same time, they love cake too. And so where now you're like, when you have those moments of weakness and stuff, you've got a support system, friends that know exactly the shoes you're wearing right now because they're wearing them with you. And it's going to give you that much more tools to succeed. So when the temptations come, and that's just it too. You can have a piece of cake every once. So it's not a, lack of a better term, it's not a death sentence. You can live a very wonderful life with it and still eat the things you want. It's just when to eat them, how to eat them, how much you eat them, and or maybe you can prepare them and eat them in a way that's not as detrimental to your diet.
Correct.
You know? There's so many, and the good news is because diabetes is such on the rise and the numbers are so much bigger than they were 20, 30 years ago, that means there's more demand for products that cater to folks in your scenario. So you have a lot more options you do today than, say, someone that got this diagnosis 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And so this is what this class is about, to show you that, to show you those alternatives, those options, to give you a regime, a program, something that you can follow and stick to that will help you kind of navigate through those. And the beauty of it is how to incorporate that into your lifestyle. So when Thanksgiving hits, how do you not go over the top with the pumpkin pie or with the stuffing or whatever it is? That's this is when those groups come into play, to show you that, or to create alternatives. We can make dressing that like I was talking earlier about. We have a person in my family with celiac disease. So we gotta
watch that one.
Gluten free it up. Well, it's same thing with diabetes. You got family members that we can do it so there's not so many carbs in this thing. We can cut it back a little bit or use alternatives that are more carb friendly and things like that.
Well, and if they're going to Thanksgiving with their families and stuff this week, volunteer to take something that they can eat and they know that that's going to be good for their blood sugars.
Yeah. Put it this way, fall in love with turkey. On Thanksgiving, and you're diabetic, turkey is your friend. Maybe not so much of the gravy and all of it, the carb stuff, but sticking with the turkey and your green beans, things like that, those are going to be good ones. The unfortunately, the potatoes, the pies, the stuffings, enjoy them, but don't take as big a helping of those.
But even with their potatoes, if they do part potato, part cauliflower,
Sure.
leave the skin on your potatoes, you get some extra fiber in there. You don't have as many carbs, and they still taste like potatoes.
Cauliflower can be your friend in the world. This is like they're using cauliflower to replace wheat in a lot of stuff, and so. And I'm telling you right now, even some of you got to be careful and pay attention to the labels. But like some of these like cauliflower crust pizzas and stuff, the little frozen ones, which I get it. We're all busy, and you're like, I ain't got time to be creating this whole meal. Let me throw that in the toaster oven or the oven for 10 minutes, and we got a pizza here. And I'm a thin crust pizza guy, so I love those. If you love those, I'm telling you right now, you get some of these cauliflower pizzas, you wouldn't know you're eating a quote-unquote diet pizza.
Well, and take your own veggies and take your own meat, put it on top of the pizza, create something of your own, and
Absolutely.
it does keep you from having to cook the entire meal.
And to be honest, with the cauliflower, and this is again, if you sign up with some of the other classes and things that are offered through the extension office, the cauliflower, you won't know. If no one told you that you're eating cauliflower potatoes or a cauliflower crust pizza, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. And
Right.
that's what I love about it. So get over your hang up that that's not potato, that's not wheat, that's not, you know what I mean? And understand that this tastes like pizza. Oh, this tastes like mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? Oh, this tastes like rice. That's what this class will teach you and show you those kind of things and understand and do the manage, because we get it. There's you love your pastries or your ice cream or what, we all have our vices. We all do. And you can still enjoy that once in a while, but it's like, don't eat the whole half-gallon ice cream. And ice cream's gotten a lot better. Like when the ice cream first came out with the low-carb ice cream, it was cold. I'll give it that. It was frozen. I'll give it that. But nowadays they're more like ice cream, and they taste like ice cream and have the same mouthfeel as ice cream. So they're getting better with it. But that's, again, this is what I'm telling you. Talk to the extension office. This is what Tamara does, is help people navigate. And since this is a good time, because like you said, the classes are wrapping up for this year. Here in January, they're going to be starting the new year-long class. There is a limited number of spaces available, so first come, first serve. But reach out to the extension office, talk to Tamara, say, hey, I'd love to be in this next class. What do I need to do to sign up?
Absolutely.
And get that done. And, of course, I imagine Drew's going to, on his side with the farming and planting and that type of things. I know usually around the first of the year they do like a lot of master gardener trainings and I think some of the pesticide training. So look for that stuff to be coming up.
They did just wrap up a pesticide. They are doing some Master Gardeners classes coming up.
Okay.
And then we are hosting the Beef Symposium this year as well. And so
That's
that'll
just
be
fun
coming
to
up.
say.
Yeah.
What exactly is it done at the, because I would love to tell people, where are you headed? To the Beef Symposium.
A lot of new advancements in technology, the way that we do things, the new things on the market, things like that our farmers and ranchers can use.
They got to try beef, though. If you're going to call someone a beef symposium, they got to have beef samples.
I'll let him know.
I just want to go to something called the Beef Symposium. That just sounds like, yep, I want to die here at the Beef Symposium.
I had 30 different types of beef.
Oh, that is great. But then again, too, I also want to, if you're looking for opportunities for your children, I know we're kind of not in the middle of the recruitment 4-H windows and all that, but there's never a bad time to
We
introduce.
are. So enrollment opened in October.
Okay,
it
so
closes
we are in the
again
middle.
in March. We
I
are
stand
right
corrected.
in there. So if they're unfamiliar with 4-H, it's the largest youth development organization in the U.S. So it's a great opportunity for kids 5 through 18 to be involved in clubs and learn leadership, learn some citizenship, and also get some life skills.
And that's the beauty of it. 4-H is what you make of 4-H.
Absolutely.
It is so many different, and if you think of one thing of 4-H, that's only one facet of 4-H. And like obviously a lot of people, especially in our part of the country here, you think 4-H, you think of showing animals at the fairs and raising livestock. And that is absolutely very much part of the fabric of 4-H, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so many activities and opportunities through 4-H that really have nothing to do with farming or ranching. That being said, there's a lot for farming and ranching, but there's a lot that isn't. If you want to learn computers, shooting sports, crafts, various crafts, cooking and sewing and skill-based things, that's all 4-H. And like you were saying earlier, learning the parliamentary procedure, how to student government, that meeting, the Henry's, the rules, all
Robert's
that.
Rules of
yeah,
Order,
that's
yes.
the ones, Robert's, no, not Henry's, Robert's rules. All of that is part of 4-H and learning kind of how to transition to be civilized adults. That's part of it too. But so if you're looking for an opportunity to get your kid some leadership and some of that stuff, that's what 4-H is all about. If you're trying to prepare them for their, college and high school days, 4-H is a valuable tool in that thing. And by the way, it's all disguised in fun activities. And things.
Yes. So 4-H is built around the motto of learn by doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so our kids have the opportunity to learn by getting hands-on experience. In New Mexico, there's over 260 projects. 60% of those are what we call FCS projects. So
Okay.
they're the creative arts, the home
Gotcha.
economics, the baking, the photography,
Sure.
things like that. And so there's a little bit of everybody. And like you said earlier, the nice thing about this is there's no one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
You do as much as you want or as little as you want. You can take one project. You can take 50 projects.
Yeah.
There's no limit, and it customizes to what your family wants
Absolutely.
to do.
And the beauty is because they start. What's the earliest they can start in the with the early programs? Of
So our
4-H?
Clover Buds start at 5.
So they can go from 5 all
Mhm.
the way till adults, 18 years old, and when they're ready to take their next phase on into adulthood here.
So there is a collegiate 4-H program
So
once
it
you get
goes
out
beyond
of
the 18th as well, too?
18, and then as those kids get over 18, they can come back and volunteer.
Nice.
Be project leaders,
So if they go on
volunteers,
to college
things like
or whatever,
that.
they can continue their 4-H careers
Absolutely.
and things too. So that's another option. And by the way, scholarships, things like that, I'm sure a lot of kids got school paid for thanks to their contributions and work through 4-H.
Yes.
So that's another avenue there is pursuing. But it's one of those things that when you're raising kids, you want to expose them to as much things and find out what, so they can find their place in the world, and 4-H is a great opportunity to help families and help kids find their place in the world.
Well, and they
Find
got to
their-
kind of figure out what they want to do and what they like to do before
Yeah.
they get to that college point of,
Absolutely.
I have to choose what to do for the rest of
Absolutely.
my life.
Well, I mean, and that's just it. Maybe they learned a skill or an activity, maybe it's some of these crafts things, and turns out they're an artist, they're a painter, they're a baker, they're a restaurateur. You know, all of that, those seeds were planted in 4-H, and that's the great thing about it. And so, if all families, it doesn't matter if you grew up in a farm and a ranch, or you're like, I lived in an apartment.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's all, you know, whether you own pets or have livestock or not, none of that matters. And to be honest, if you're a dog and cat lover, you can show pets too.
We do.
So
we've
pets.
got several cat projects. We've got dog projects. We have partnered with the Rio Pecos Kennel Club. They're doing our dog projects and our workshops this year. And so there's something for everybody.
Absolutely. It really is. And here's the other cool part. Maybe that activity isn't yet. Well, guess what? Maybe, you know, if there's enough volunteers and things, we'll start a new one. That's 4-H too. If there's a demand for an activity, then we'll create it. If there's enough people and demand for it, that's the beauty of 4-H too. It kind of evolves and changes to meet the needs of the community in which it serves.
So in New Mexico, we have what we call a curriculum committee, and we get together several times a year and we go through. Do we need a new program? Do we need a new curriculum? What does that look like? What are our kids interested in?
Absolutely.
And revamp it for the needs of our kids.
Yeah, it really is a great program. Please contact Tamara or Drew. Anybody at the extension office can give you more information about that and give you resources and invite you to the next meeting for the particular activity that you're into and all of that stuff. So, or like you said, if there's not enough, we'll create an activity. If there's enough passion and interest, we'll help you get that started. So that's the beauty of it. So if you need help managing health and wanting that kind of stuff, if you have questions about gardening and that kind of thing, if you have questions about 4-H, anything through 4-H, please reach out to the Chavez County Extension Office and come see all the great stuff. And by the way, if you're adults looking for activities and things to, social things like that, that's part of the
We've got
extension.
that too.
So if you want to come and meet some of the clubs that meet, and they do, I mean, it's everything from games to carts and crafts. They've got several little groups that do several different things.
We do. So we do have 4 adult extension groups throughout the county. We've got one that meets down in the valley and then several here around town.
Good.
They all meet on different days, and I call it 4-H for adults.
Yes.
So they get together. They have their community service aspect. They still have their leadership aspect, and they definitely have their fellowship time. But then they also have their training and their educational portions of it too. So
it's a great opportunity for folks that are maybe retired and looking to kind of increase their social circle, looking for things to kind of, to do to enrich their lives. 4-H or the extension office really has that for you. I mean, it's technically not 4-H, it's extension office, but it's like you said, it's a 4-H for adults. And so please reach out. And again, if there's enough adults that have a community interest that want to get together, we can start a 5th club here for you here for you too. So that's this extension office is there to serve the community, and so it evolves as the communities evolves.
Absolutely.
That office evolves as well too. I mean, we got your staples. We're going to need to be taking care of farm and ranch, and we're going to need to be taking kids through 4-H. We're going to be needing to provide health, options for families and things like that. But as far as the details, that will change and alter over time. But I'm going to guess one thing that'll never change is we're going to be doing the Christmas showcase every November.
They've already started planning for next year. Yes,
that will never change. We're going to be doing that, but like you said, if you missed out or the dog already ate your book, and you need another,
get another one or 2 or 3.
Come, or if you got one, you said, I bet I know someone would love one of these for Christmas. Call the extension office for $5. You can get a brand new book.
And they don't cost that much to ship, so ship them to your friends.
That's right, too. You can. I don't know if you can do it with 1 stamp, but I bet you can do it with 2 or 3. So it'd be great, and definitely. And trust me, you're going to want it because they're coveted. There's 2 pieces of paper or collective piece of paper in my time here in Roswell that I've seen highly coveted. One is the Choose Restaurant cookbooks from back in the day.
Oh.
Those, anytime the Historical Society has one, it's like, what do you got to read? Cookbook? It's like 20 people. I'll give you, and I think people would pay millions of dollars for one if you could put one on a table and there's going to be an auction. It's just there. And the other one is the Christmas Showcase books that are every year. Those are the 2, in my experience as a world, the most sought after pieces of paper in this community. as a collective over the years here, those two things. So
they do come in handy. So they're packed full of, I would say, arts and crafts activity, DIY projects for the home, for the kitchen, for anything, fabric and sewing. And then they're packed full of recipes to try.
It's timeless Pinterest and something that you can have access to it all the time. That's really what it is.
That won't go away like your Pinterest.
That's
pins.
right. And you can't have, I pinned it. I know I did. Where'd it go?
No longer available.
It'll be like a friend waiting for you when you're ready. So good deal. Tamara, is there anything we missed?
I think that's it.
Good deal. Give out the phone number if anybody has any questions for the extension office here. That main number, because I know it. If you don't know, it's part of the New Mexico State, and so if you go online, anything through New Mexico State, you'll find the Chavez County Extension Office literature through there. But you can always come by the office on Chisholm. Or call that number direct, and you can talk to Tamara or Drew or any of the other folks there.
Right. So we're located at 200 East Chisholm, suite number 4. So we're on the far side of the health department if they're coming out to visit us. But they're always welcome to give us a call in the office. It's 622-3210.
Yeah, and leave a voicemail if you don't get a lot, especially over the next couple of days with the holidays and everything. It's going to be...
So we are closed Thursday and Friday.
So you'll definitely
you can
get a
come see us
voicemail there.
today or tomorrow. But
come on down. What time do you guys... run the office hours?
We're 8 to 5, and we're open for the most part during lunch.
Good deal. So 8 to 5, Monday through Friday normally. Obviously, the back half this week closed for the Thanksgiving holiday and reopening back up on Monday here.
Yes.
But call, and then if you look if you type Chavez County Extension in like the Facebook search, it'll pop right up, but you're going to see a lot of stuff New Mexico State. And you're kind of have to whittle through.
Yes, we have 3 different pages. We actually have 4 different pages. So Drew has a page for the ag side.
Okay.
There is a page for the family consumer science. Our ICANN educator has that page as well. So if you're interested in what she's doing in the community.
Like and follow those. Absolutely.
Yes. And then our 4-H group has a page.
But a great place to ask questions, too. So if you have any questions for Tamara about classes or anything, or Drew with some of his stuff, you can always shoot a message through those. So like and follow those. And that way, you all can stay up to date, because you guys always have a lot of things going on, and we don't always get to talk about every one of them on the radio here. So stay up to date by following those pages there too.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
And is your sister good sous chef to work for? Or is she going to be bossy?
Oh, so my sister is great, and she, for the most part, cooks everything from a homestead.
Okay.
So most of it's fresh, from the house.
So you're just kind of there like,
yep.
Here's the salt.
Yep.
All right, I can put that on the table. All right, I got it. Well, good deal. Well, enjoy family, and we look forward to see you next time.
Y'all too.
Okay. All right, it is 8:46. Let's do this. Let's pause for some news. Dallas Cowboys report. Lou Dobbs. So happy Cowboys news for Cowboys fans. Sad financial news for everybody else, because, well, it's the world we live in. And then commercial breaks to pay for my lunch. All of that coming up next. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. Season tickets for the upcoming Artesia High School basketball season are now on sale. Reserved seat tickets are available on a first-come, first-served basis, with ticket sales offered from 1 to 4 p.m. on weekdays at the Artesia High School Athletic Office at Bulldog Pit. Season tickets are $120 each and will admit the holder to all Bulldog and Lady Bulldog regular season games and the City of Champions Classic. Artesia Main Street Executive Director Morgan Fox has started a new Wellspring entrepreneurship program. Fox recently stated the program aims to build the local economy, support local entrepreneurs, and avoid vacancies in downtown retail space. And a former worker at the Ashley Furniture Store in Portales has been ordered to serve a year in prison for stealing over $100,000 in furniture from the store. 30-year-old Darius Von Schritz pleaded guilty to larceny and receiving stolen property. Police said much of the furniture was found inside the home that Von Schritz shared with former ENMU police officer Kakoa Von Schritz. Kakoa Von Schritz was also charged and sentenced to 5 years probation for receiving stolen property. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Hi, everyone. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Jimmy Johnson talks about his upcoming induction into the Ring of Honor right after this.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport. Above, beyond. At McAllenAirport.com.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Prior to Sunday's 33-10 win at Carolina, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson were together on the field for the announcement that Jimmy will be inducted into the Ring of Honor at halftime of the game on December 30th, leading to this reaction from Jimmy.
You look at Jerry and myself. Every time I'm with Jerry, we tell old stories and laugh and cut up. Terry Bradshaw made mention to me, geez, he says, you two guys, when you get together, it's like two brothers. That's why people have never really understood the relationship. But we're both extremely proud. I mean, the way the Cowboys are, today, and the way the Cowboys were back then, and, we're very proud of what we were able to do.
Today at the Star, game plan installation for this Thursday hosting the Commanders. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through Thanksgiving Day and likely through Friday. We have a high-pressure system moving in from the Intermountain states. Upper 50s and a little bit breezy today with plenty of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear and cool, dropping into the low 30s, and then we're in the low 60s and sunny for Wednesday, moving into the mid-60s with sunshine for Thanksgiving Day. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. November's rally continues. NVIDIA's AI forecast in focus today. Stocks moving higher ahead of today's key earnings reports. The Dow Jones Industrial's up more than 200 points in yesterday's session. The S&P up more than 30. The NASDAQ up more than 150 points. November's market rally still holding strong ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. NVIDIA earnings after the closing bell today. The AI chip leader continues to grow as Wall Street's forecasting another upbeat quarter. Wall Street keeping an eye on today's Fed minutes. Investors still betting the Fed won't raise rates for the rest of the year. One more policy meeting before 2023 trading wraps up. Apple delaying the release of the Vision Pro mixed reality headset. The highly anticipated, very expensive headset pushed back to March next year. Apple citing manufacturing and design challenges. Auto safety regulators investigating Hyundai and Kia after recalls due to fire hazards. The announcement sent Hyundai stock down 2%, Kia down 1%. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
One in every 5 businesses gets hacked. Why? Security requires identifying how many computers your business has. You probably don't know, and your cybersecurity team likely doesn't know either. Most companies underestimate their vulnerability points by 15% or more. Payment processors, printers, and other network devices. Arison's Cyber Z Suite pinpoints and secures these devices and ensures total system coverage. Call Arison 908-878-7717. 908-878-7717. Arison 908-878-7717.
Something big is coming to Roswell Nissan. Invoice pricing. You heard that right. Invoice pricing on all new Nissan vehicles on the lot. And that means your dream ride is within reach. So whether you're eyeing the sleek sophistication of a Sentra, the adventurous spirit of a Rogue, or the powerful roar of a Titan, they've got it all, and it's waiting for you at Roswell Nissan at Invoice Pricing. Brace yourself for the best pricing and the best savings of the entire year during Roswell Nissan's all-week-long Black Friday sale. Now through Saturday at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
From morning runs to playing with grandkids, taking part
part in activities brings great joy to our lives, but it can also come with injuries. And for those in physically demanding jobs, the daily grind can wear on muscles, bones, and joints and lead to acute and long-term disorders. If you're suffering from an orthopedic injury, let our Artesia General Hospital specialists help. The sooner you address the root cause, the sooner you'll be back to living life in motion. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/orthopedics.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
Big O Tires' biggest Black Friday sale is here. For a limited time, get unbeatable savings on the tire brands you know and trust, plus savings on brakes, oil changes, air filters, and more, all with multiple financing options tailored to you. These savings won't last. Make an appointment online at bigotires.com or stop in today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Have you ever had someone do something kind and out of the ordinary for you? How did that make you feel? I know for me, it brightens my day. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not get tired of doing what's right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." I've learned when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing. Keep sowing good things into your spouse and your family. Be patient. God promises He will give you a harvest. It will make a difference. A successful farmer just keeps on working and expects to have a great harvest.
I know when my husband brings me flowers, it blesses me. So do something unexpected for your spouse. It will pay off.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Rosa, have you decided where you're going to college yet?
There's so many choices. I'm still not sure.
Well, I've decided to attend the University of New Mexico. It's the only Research One university in the state. It's the flagship, and their academic programs are among the best in the nation.
The University of New Mexico? Can I still apply?
Of course. UNM is New Mexico's best university, and residents of New Mexico get preference in admission. Apply now, and we'll attend UNM together.
The University of New Mexico, New Mexico's University of Opportunity. Apply today at unm.edu.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. We're closing in on 8:57. Got a couple minutes here before news at the top of the hour. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15. We're going to have Geneva Martinez join us with Many Hands Organization, organization that works helping with homeless and folks like that in our community. They've got a winter coat drive that officially will get underway here in a day or two, but it'll go on through December 1st, and they're looking for clothing, coats, and cold weather gear, hats, gloves, sweatshirts, things like that. So we'll talk about that, talk a little bit about Many Hands and what they've got going on, and, of course, folks that are in need. We'll show you how to get help there, too. So we'll talk all that next hour. We do have championship football for you on Saturday as the number 1 seed Roswell Coyotes will travel to Artesia to square off against the number 2 seed Artesia Bulldogs. Winner is your state champions. That game will be at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Now, we will have the radio coverage for you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. That's the Roswell perspective, the Bulldog perspective on our sister station 990 AM KSVP out of Artesia. Because we are not allowed to live stream video the actual ball game on Saturday, we have an alternative for you. You can purchase tickets or purchase streaming rights through ProView. It does cost $10. There's links to that. I will tell you, not everybody has a great experience with that, but you do you on that. But what we have available for you is we will have our video stream opened up, and we can't show you the game on the field, but there's nothing stopping us from showing you our announcers calling the game in the press box. So we're going to actually put our cameras on for the Roswell Coyotes here on Art and Kelly. They're going to have the basically be on camera calling the game for you, so you kind of get to see them do their thing, get a little inside baseball on how our broadcast is done. So kind of, we'd love to show you the game, but this we kind of thought was like the next best thing. So you can listen to us. They're going to be doing the audio, so you hear them calling the game, obviously. But we're going to have them on camera, so you can kind of see them doing their thing in action there. They're going to do a pre-game, pre-show about noon there with Art and Kelly calling our Roswell game, and also Joby Hotling and Robbie Ballou are going to be calling the Artesia game. They're going to do the four of them just talking about the history of the game, the Wool Bowl, the pre-matchups, things like that. No X's and O's, because our guys are, wait a minute, I'm not talking X's and O's with the Goddard guy or the Roswell guys, and Artesia guys, our guys are saying, I'm not talking X's and O's with the Artesia guys, all that too. So, but we're going to have that for you. So special, tune in probably about 12 noon on Saturday. Roswell, if you go to our website, ksvptv.com, click on the Roswell Coyote channel. You can get to see our guys. If you click on the Bulldog channel, you'll see theirs. All right, news up next. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Both sides, Israel and Hamas, confirm a deal is near on a temporary pause in the Gaza fighting, allowing for the release of some hostages being held by Hamas. The National Security Council's John Kirby welcomes the news.
We believe we're closer than we've ever been, so we're hopeful. But there's still work to be done, and nothing is done until it's all done.
Meantime, the latest fighting is in northern Gaza. It's taking place near a hospital and a large refugee camp. The housing market continues to struggle. Used home sales slumped in October to their slowest pace in more than 13 years. Surging mortgage rates and rising prices keeping many would-be buyers on the sidelines. He calls it the radical left, and Senator Ted Cruz says it has hijacked every major American institution. He's detailing how it happened in his new book entitled Unwoke.
And the first chapter of the book is on the universities, and I call the universities the Wuhan lab of the woke virus because it's where it started. And we're seeing it at universities all across the country.
Cruz speaking with the Salem Radio Network's Hugh Hewitt. 4 people wounded. A shooting last evening at a Walmart.
The male shooter entered the Walmart at 3360 Pentagon Boulevard in the city of Beaver Creek, Greene County, Ohio, and began firing shots. In doing so, he injured 4 victims. The conditions of the victims right now is unknown, as they were all transported to area hospitals.
Beaver Creek, Ohio Police Captain Scott Molnar on WKEF-TV says the gunman apparently took his own life after that attack in the Dayton suburb. On Wall Street this morning, stocks have been trading lower all morning long. The Dow is down 66 points, the NASDAQ off 112 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The World Health Organization warns that health services in Gaza have suffered catastrophic damage as a result of the ongoing Israel-Hamas war.
We are seeing a complete collapse of the higher level infrastructure of the Gaza health system. It is just the most basic of needs that can be met now.
WHO Emergencies Chief Dr. Michael Ryan says the concentration of refugees in crowded camps and other facilities is driving up the risk of epidemics.
There really has been heavy rain. It has flooded a lot of the makeshift camps, and it is generating all kinds of risks.
Ryan says only 10 of Gaza's 36 hospitals are now functioning in any way at all and will likely be overwhelmed in the coming weeks.
5,500 women are going to give birth in the next month. 15% of them will need a cesarean section. 25% of their children will be born preterm.
I'm Ben Thomas.
News and analysis at townhall.com. Some ideas if you'll be gifting a gardener this Christmas season.
A hydroponic smart grower lets you grow fresh food indoors year-round without sunlight or soil. More simply, you can get an organic mushroom grow kit in a cardboard box that sits on your kitchen counter. Mist it daily and your mushrooms will be ready in as little as 10 days. Other gardening gift ideas include membership into the American Horticultural Society. That gives you free admission and privileges at more than 350 public gardens and arboretums. John Scott reporting.
No injuries among 9 people on a Navy plane overshot a runway at a Marine base in Hawaii. A Marine Corps spokesman says the P-8A aircraft wound up in the water. Another spokesman says Coast Guard responded, but rescue operations were quickly called off. The PA-8 is often used to hunt for submarines, also used for reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Eve of Thanksgiving Eve, everybody. The Tuesday before the day where everything goes crazy.
Welcome to your nightmare.
Yeah, or prepping for your game face to travel or what you got to do. I pray all of you.
It's funny.
Do what you got to do successfully.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying, you know what I miss? I'm like, what? They were like, the pandemic holidays. Because think about it. We all feigned how much we wanted to be together. But we got to not. And we got to just relax and worry about our own families. And remember how easy it was? Nobody was traveling. The roads were wide open. You could have skateboarded down the I-40 if you'd have wanted to.
And the funny part, no one had colds either. You know what I mean? Like, none of us were
Everybody
sick.
was as healthy as we were ever going to be.
Because we never saw each other because no one ever got cold.
It's great.
That is the one school year that I didn't get sick during the holiday season.
And exactly. And I will say to all the students out there who are cursing my name because they missed out on their high school experience or whatever, I understand. I'm not saying it was all bed of roses, but boy, that privacy was nice, wasn't it?
Sure made certain events a lot easier to deal
You just
with.
didn't have to feel guilty that grandma was coming, wasn't coming over. It's like it was just nice.
Yeah.
Here I am, just reminiscing about the COVID days.
But here's the thing:
you were 6 feet away from me. I was 6 feet away from you.
Because of I love Thanksgiving, I'm like, it bums me out on that one.
Yeah.
But Christmas, game on. I will love to not see you or not give you anything. Because I just hate. I shouldn't say it this way because I sound like such a curmudgeon. And I'm not a fan of the Christmas.
I do enjoy a Christmas party.
Yeah.
Is assuming that I'm not responsible for throwing it.
Well, and that's just, I love the sentiment. I love the whole hanging out with people and the parties. To me, that should be it. I hate the whole stress of the gift giving and these rules that we put ourselves and all this stupid. To me, it makes what's supposed to be a wonderful time of year hot garbage, and I hate everything.
Well,
about
and then you couple that with, and this is something that I touched on earlier in the week. While we're trying so hard to make the holiday season magical for the young ones, it really puts that added strain on the rest of us.
Yeah, and that's what I yes, I want kids to have special Christmases, but at the same time,
coupled with
why do we have to go this over the top with it?
Right.
What happened to like the one bike under the tree instead of no, we got to get you this and 12 things of this and that and everything else is like, why?
Yeah.
Why? This is why our kids are spoiled awful to begin with. Maybe we should, teach them some other things. And,
I like the George
everyone's
Lopez.
like going, what a curmudgeon. Yeah, I get it.
Well,
I am a little bit.
I like the George Lopez approach where he's like, remember that pack of gum I got you? Yeah, that was for Christmas. You know? It's
Well,
like,
I don't wanna be
I'll
a-
gift you throughout the year.
I don't want to be a jerk about it, but at the same time, too, I mean,
Oh, then you don't have kids.
I
See,
know.
I do
Well,
want to be a jerk about it.
I don't because yes, it is a special time and I love the memories, but at the end of the day, the important stuff is the family and hanging out and it doesn't matter what's under the tree. It doesn't matter what's on the table. It matters that you're together.
Right.
And that's the part that completely gets missed over the holiday.
Sure. And a lot of it also gets kind of, caked over by just loads of trauma.
Yeah.
Because, for some reason, this time of year, things happen.
And let's face it, you look at all the domestic crimes, all that stuff goes up during this time of year because of the pressures and things. And if you already have people that are financially strapped and now they feel the extra burden of having to do this, it creates problems. And so that's why I'm not a fan of all this.
Yeah.
I hate the judginess, the whole come to expect of Christmas. To me, I would be, let's everyone take a day off. We'll pick whatever food you want and go and hang out and spend the day with your family. And that's it. Don't be giving gifts. Don't be planning a bunch of, don't make someone spend the whole day working while everyone else farts around all day. It's,
Mike Winters 2024. Yes, he can.
I just wish we spent more time on the reason we're doing this.
Sure,
and not
the reason for the season.
And I know maybe this is my old brain getting into me where you asked me when I'm 20, I'm like, I want the new PlayStation 1 or whatever it was back that day. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now as I get older, I'm just like, I hate the fact that people stress out over this stuff and think, to me, it's so unnecessary. And I wish people would really appreciate the holiday for what it is and not what you're going to get.
I'm a grown-up 7-year-old. If there's something I want, I'm probably going to get it.
Yeah.
That's what. Don't go to great lengths finding something for me for the holidays. Let's just hang. Let's just kick
don't
it.
want to. And then they'll worry about whether they like it, not like it. And it's like,
Merry Christmas, everybody, from all of us here at Pecos Valley Broadcast.
All just sours me on. No, I'm more about the reason for the season, baby. Spending that time with the family and praising the blessings that you got and celebrating what you have. That's what these holidays should be about. Not how much can I consume or how much can I acquire from my family members and do they love me? They only give me $20. They don't love me. That whole.
I did, however, see a meme that I thought was pretty funny the other day. It said, "Isn't it convenient that Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day and died on Easter?" It's like,
yeah. Yeah, I love explaining that. I made that joke myself. It's like, well, how do we know December 25th? But then it's sometime in March or April, But there's, you got to understand the history. Put it this way. From everything I'm understanding from history, Jesus was probably born in the summer.
In the summertime, yeah.
So,
Mungo Jerry was there in the summertime. It was playing. It was great.
Well, contrary to popular belief, there wasn't things like TikTok back then to chronicle these
What's
things.
up, everybody? It's your boy Jesus.
To chronicle these particular events and things. So that so we have to.
I do feel like Jesus would be one heck of an influencer.
I would think
he'd probably have it on point. PewDiePie levels of
I'm not trying to get sacrilegious here, but what do you think that would have been like if Jesus came and he had TikTok and things like what? How would that be different?
I'll put it this way: it would have been a lot more interesting if he came when Vine was a thing.
Well,
everything he did would be 6 seconds at a time.
I think people would believe him. I think because of what's on the world of Twitter and TikTok,
right.
Like some guy comes in and says, "Bam," and makes some water into wine, or turns loaves of bread, or some guy's walking on water. People
camera tricks,
CGI.
Yeah.
Totally,
okay, Bruckheimer.
Yeah, I mean, any of the miracles they witness, they just be complete. Like, yeah, whatever.
That guy wouldn't really have leprosy.
Yeah, they would have to. I don't know if he would. I wonder.
I'm just imagining Jesus' miracles happening with all like the hearts going up on the side.
I just thought not when you say that, I think it's like what kind of well, I'll stop there.
Yeah, we probably should.
Because
we're alienating a pretty big section of our audience.
It just reminds me of one of my favorite comedians who's no longer with us. So, and one of his bits makes me laugh to this day. It's who I'm talking.
George Carlin.
No.
Oh.
Kennison.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to.
Oh, that
to
me, that is some of the funniest
That's
stuff in comedy history there. That
man was a pastor. He was allowed to make those jokes.
Well, exactly. That's what made it, to me, I appreciate it that much more as a man who, of the cloth, to say those things. It just hit different when he said it. So.
Indeed.
Let me give you the rundown. Is our guest here?
Yes.
Awesome. It is 9:15. Let me give you the rundown here. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. Then here in just a couple minutes, we're going to be joined by Geneva Martinez with Many Hands Organization. I believe our very own Jocelyn will join her as well here on the radio. They've got a winter coat drive that they're underway or getting ready to get underway, and they're looking for winter clothing, coats, things for all sizes, kids, adults, male, female, all of the above, because, and everything from to the not just coats, but socks, gloves, everything that you need to kind of survive the winter, chapstick, stuff that helps you navigate stuff like through the winter. They're collecting items like that, but we'll talk more about that, talk about the Many Hands organization as well, if you're not familiar. And so Geneva will join us here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Don't forget, we had Coach Joe Fortner on with us yesterday. We did an unveil of the announcement of your opponents in the 2023 Xcel Energy Wool Bowl, which will take place on Friday, December 1st at the Wool Bowl. Your New Mexico Military Institute Broncos are number 15 in the nation. They will be squaring off against number 7 in the nation, the Dodge City Conquistadors out of, yes, that Dodge City. Wyatt Earp, the whole thing. So should be a fun matchup, should be a great game. Now, the game will take place on the 1st. Kickoff will be at 6 p.m. Get there early because beginning at 3 o'clock, they're going to kind of start with tailgating and Food Truck Friday. So I want to invite everyone to come out and enjoy a meal and do a little tailgating. There's going to be live music and a concert. Will Bannister is going to be performing around 4:15. And then kickoff will be at 6 o'clock. So after the concert, you can kind of meander all into the Wool Bowl, get your spot situated, and then we'll get underway with the game. The Richland boys, the folks at Richland Motors, they are sponsoring a contest where somebody could win $50,000 at halftime as well, too. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening at the 2023 Xcel Energy Wool Bowl. You can get your tickets right now. They're only $5. $5 for tickets. Children 12 and under get in free. Get your tickets online at woolbowl.net. Tickets will be available at the door the day of the game, but you can get advanced tickets right now, woolbowl.net, www.woolbowl.net. All right, it is 9:17. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through Thanksgiving Day and likely through Friday. We have a high pressure system moving in from the Intermountain states. Upper 50s and a little bit breezy today with plenty of sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cool, dropping into the low 30s, and then we're in the low 60s and sunny for Wednesday, moving into the mid 60s with sunshine for Thanksgiving Day. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 49 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 43%. Winds a bit breezy out of the north, 13 gusting to 20 miles per hour. Sunny today. Expect highs near 60, 58 is what they're officially saying. Winds will be a little breezy out of the north, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear. We're going to be right at freezing tonight. Overnight low of 32 degrees. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. For your Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday, sunny skies, a high of 64. Winds will be out of the northwest at around 5 miles per hour, so pretty nice weather there. And tomorrow night, clear, overnight low of 33, so just a tick above freezing. South winds 5 to 10. Thanksgiving Day looking quite pleasant. Sunny skies, a high of 66 degrees. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thanksgiving evening, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 37. For you Friday, sunny skies and a high of 58. For your Saturday, partly cloudy, 53 for a high, so maybe a light jacket or sweater if you're heading out to the Bulldog Bowl on Saturday for the big championship game. Sunday, cooler, only in the 40s, 47. So cooler this weekend, 53 Saturday, 47 on Sunday, and then 52 when everyone heads back to work and school and coming out of their turkey comas from the Thanksgiving weekend there. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break. Then we'll talk with the folks from Many Hands here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
A comedian once said, "No one can tell me anything, not even myself." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, most people stop listening and start forming an answer or response when someone's talking to them within 7 seconds, so they miss most of the information.
John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me."
You know, when Julie and I were preparing for this, she looked right at me after I spoke for a while and said, "What?" I guess we all have work to do in listening. But you know what? Just like learning to know God takes time and focus and to know His voice, it's going to take time and focus to really get to know our spouse and to really start enjoying and loving marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Here is your chance to get the furniture you've been dreaming of. Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and it's time for a sale. We are giving additional discounts on everything in the store. That new bedroom set you've had your heart set on, a dining table for new family members, even artwork to enhance your space. It's all here right now at discounted prices. Don't miss out on this rare sales event. Come see us at Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
It's back and bigger
It's going to be intercepted.
and even better.
And has Beeman open. And he's got it. There's a dump pass for another touchdown.
The XL Energy Wool Bowl is back Friday, December 1st in Roswell, New Mexico. New Mexico's only college football bowl game below I-40. Food trucks, kids zone, pregame concert with Will Bannister. Purchase tickets now for only $5 at woolbowl.net.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Geneva Martinez with Many Hands Organization back with us, and also joining us with Many Hands as well, our very own Jocelyn Smith, who by day is pushing buttons and producing our morning show, by night helping with the Many Hands Organization here.
I wear many hats.
She has many hands and many hats. Good morning, ladies. How are you all doing today?
Good morning.
Before we talk about the winter coat drive and everything, let's kind of give, now the organization's been around for a while now. I'm not sure a year or two or how many, but it's been around for a little bit. But I'm guessing there's a lot of people that still may not be familiar with the Many Hands organization. So before we talk about the coat drive and everything, let's give a little background and tell folks exactly, kind of how this started and the purpose of this organization.
Okay, actually, Jocelyn is one of our team leaders and has been with the organization longer than I have. I was brought in July to really get the program up and going, but she did a lot of the grassroots with a few other team leaders, so I'll let Jocelyn.
So Geneva, she's trying to say it's your turn to talk. So Jocelyn, it's all you.
So I got involved with Many Hands a little bit before Geneva, maybe about 6 months or so. And it's basically what we're trying to do is turn abandoned properties into low-income housing.
Back to a vibrant, useful property that is being enjoyed by a family again, as opposed to sitting derelict and being well, let's face it, a health issue, a safety issue, and probably a few other issues there I haven't even thought of.
Right.
So.
And we actually just kind of got a win with that. We got someone into our first property.
November.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
1st.
about a month ago here, a little less than a month ago.
It was on November 1st.
So that's great.
Yeah.
So our very first family.
Yeah.
So husband, wife, kids, I mean, kind of give us the little story or a little bit of background about the family.
Yeah, so this gentleman reached out. He heard about the program. He had a rental that wasn't up to the HUD standards.
Okay. So he had the property, he just couldn't get it to livable conditions.
Right.
basically.
Right. So it's kind of a multi system. So we talk to property owners, landlords that may have buildings, houses that are boarded up or
so
not.
basically you're helping them make it an income revenue producing thing for them.
Right.
Yeah.
So looking at his property and what, not fair market value, but what houses are going up for rent now.
Gotcha.
He was going to be able to rent that house at a very high of what we're seeing right now in the market. You know,
right. He's like, I can put you in here, but for me to make break even here, I'm going to charge you way more than what it's probably worth to live here.
So our program is, we received a very small amount, a grant from private donors.
Nice.
And so with that money, I looked around what the state has and what federal money has, and kind of how can we mimic what money is out there.
Model after that, but make it a little bit more easy to access and to be, let's face it, there's a government program, but usually like 27 ropes and strings to go through to get all that. And this is kind of like, let's make it a way that's actually achievable and not requiring them to go through a gauntlet of things to do it.
Yeah. So we started off with this pilot project that we're going to model what there's home rehabilitation money in the state and federal.
Okay. So
So let's look at how that runs. Let's implement it on a smaller level here.
Okay.
Let's make our pilot project, it's a proof of concept, that this works.
Yeah, you're setting the example. You're the ones that are saying, look, I'm telling you, if we go this model, we will have success here. So
right.
So really this organization's almost a test project / experimental thing a little bit here to say this is a concept that can work to help people in our state. Let's see if we can make this succeed. Right. We're hoping that your community in Albuquerque, your community in Farmington, your community in Rio Rancho has something very similar to this.
That, yes. And also there's money that nonprofits really can't apply for, but municipalities can apply for.
Gotcha. So you can kind of use that tool together.
Yeah, to show them, like how we can work together. Just recently we had Juliana Halverson hosted a how do we assist the homeless
Like
in
a
our
formative
community.
meeting?
Yes, at the aquatic
I remember
center.
that about 2-3 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah. So at what came out of that meeting was an outcry for public bathrooms.
Mhm.
Christina Arnold had suggested that we, or she had explained that she has already been working on Portland Lou's grant, and to try to get those here, it would be a more permanent structure.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, what is something that we could fill right now?
Sure.
And so
We need a stopgap in the meantime
Right.
until the more permanent solution comes in.
Yeah. So it was suggested by someone in the audience that if the city could get some porta potties.
And you may have noticed some downtown.
Yeah.
we got some ones.
Well, that was a direct
actually
result of that meeting.
Yeah. So
in Reichman and also behind Stellar.
Yes, on city property. So that was a collaboration, and that came about with Juliana explaining the process of how to get things approved through the city. First would have to go through safety, then finance, and then city council. So we were looking at 3 months before we were able to get the porta potty set.
That's awesome.
So we were able, as with Many Hands, as a nonprofit, reached out to a private sector who handles porta potties.
And to me, this is just me spouting off here, but this is how it works, because when the government is not capable of doing things fast, they're just not. And when it comes to the homeless situation, sometimes time is of the essence on some of these things, due to the circumstances. There's usually time. And so the private world, the nonprofit, they can move lightning quick. That's the beauty of it. They don't have as many regulations and things that they've got to adhere to. However, like you said, there's rooms you can't get into. There's places that you guys can't access to. And that's where the government partnership comes in. It's where, no, we're not asking the government to fund this project.
Right.
What we're asking them to do is let's open the channels so we can get the funding for this project. And I'm guessing at some point you probably have to get something where, the city council has someone like yourself as that liaison for the city. And so whenever the city has questions or what are you doing with this money, then you have that person to answer for that. But they kind of turn you loose and let you do your thing, and they just kind of monitor to make sure that the money and grants that you do apply for are going to the places they're going for. And that's really the best way to work it, where you don't necessarily want the government itself doing the program because of the limitations that they have as a government entity and their transparency and things. It's a good thing. Trust me, you want these things in place.
Right.
Left to themselves, and you're going to see, you think things are corrupt now? Wait till there's no kind of regulation there. So that there's a place for that and a need for that. But at the same time, this allows for that quick movement. This is why I love organizations like yourself and like our emergency disaster relief folks that come out and just feed people when they need it, because they can do that. They have the ability to do that and they can do a lot more of it if you get, like you said, the city, the government involved to say, all right, how can we apply for these grants? How can we steward some of these to make sure everything's on the up and up, but at the same time, give you guys the freedom to do what you got to do without having to ask daddy for permission every time to do it. And that's kind of where I think this organization's kind of proving we can do that government, private, working together to get this
it's very
done.
much a coordinated effect. And when you do coordinate and you have a great working relationship with private sectors, nonprofits, and city, municipalities, the county, beautiful things happen. And so it was just, the very next day, I was able to contact our city councilors and tell Christina and Juliana that, hey, we got porta potties.
Great.
Where can we put them?
And it's great that you got 2 already on board, fully working in, and hope that spreads to
Parks and Rec have, are also volunteering.
Well, and they're probably their department's the one that's handling the actual physicality of doing the work involved when making sure these are at where they're supposed to be and that they're still serviceable and clean and that.
They're doing checks on them daily. So it all worked together.
That's great.
And it was so beautiful to see it roll out.
Well, it's one of those things too. It's it's beautiful to see, but it's we should have been doing this years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? There is that other side, but you know what? Better late than never.
Right.
That's not the point here. The point is we need to be moving forward, not dwelling on what's happened in the past. Here.
And it went out pretty quick. We had that meeting with with Juliana, and I think maybe a couple weeks we already had it go in motion.
Yeah. And more to come. This is just, again, this is a Band-Aid for a problem we're trying to do. These aren't the permanent solutions. This is until we can get something that's, maybe more the downtown public rest area kind of thing.
It's not for a certain population. It's for the public.
Everyone that's, let's face it, we're a tourist community.
Right.
Especially a certain time of year, all you're seeing downtown is tourists and things. And I'm sure our local merchants are trying to let everybody into the bathroom for that.
It's a win-win for
we've got
the city.
We got the Pioneer Park Plaza there, the courthouse lawn. We got a lot of open space in that area. Surely we can put a little rest area where maybe it's attached to the Conoco building where you can go and, get your brochures and things and go to the bathroom and clean up if you need to.
Yeah, and
get water.
It is also, a public health and safety issue.
Absolutely.
And it's something that is now being addressed.
Yeah. So that's kind of, long term is to get something permanent downtown. But until that happens, this is the things we can do to try to address some of these problems and issues downtown. So, in all of town, all of Roswell. We know it. We know that we have a much larger homeless population now than we did. We can play the arguments about shipping them from where, and it doesn't really matter. They're here. We got to do something about it. So this is the steps that take that. Now, that being said, we're shifting to our other thing because I don't want to get all philosophical and not talk about the meat of what we're doing here. You guys are putting together a coat drive or a winter clothing drive right now. And it officially starts the 24th, but I'm sure if you reach out to anybody and say, I got a bunch of coats for you, they're going to come get them now.
I actually dropped off all the boxes yesterday at the places.
So they're at their designated
So they're already
location.
at the designated places. And anybody that has any extra, like, the flyer says coats, sweaters, anything winterized.
Anything that covers your extremities. Think about what's the most important thing where your heat is being released. So socks, hats, gloves, and covering your ears.
I know this is not on the list, but I know, because I always hear when it comes to homeless, the two articles of clothing that they're always in need of is undergarments, underwear, socks, underpants, bras, things like that, and socks.
Yes.
I know socks is part of this but can they bring undergarments too if they get new, obviously?
Yes.
But if you've got your Fruit of Looms or whatever, and you want to bring a couple of packages of those in there, is that okay?
Yes,
too?
of course. Yeah. So when you're doing your Christmas shopping, it's always like, okay, this is the time my husband gets his underwear and socks, right? So I'm just going to pick up an extra.
But I would also say don't forget the women and don't forget the children.
Yes,
right.
Don't just grab a bunch of men's briefs because that's not only people that are in need, right?
Right. We're seeing a big increase of children and single moms, also single dads.
So think of that, all sizes, toddlers, infants, teenagers. This problem does not have a certain face. It's all faces. And so we've got, and that's the thing, you never fathom children homeless, but it's way more surprising than you think it is. And so so when you are shopping for clothing, or if you got some older coats, or the kids outgrow their coats, but they didn't destroy that one, it's still pretty good shape, please bring it.
Well, sometimes you buy your kid a coat and they've outgrown it already.
That's right. You bought it for Christmas, and then by February, Or if it's like a sports team, you got the wrong sports team, or you got something wrong with it. Like my mom, I grew up Redskins fan, right?
Yeah.
But we were poor too, so the Minnesota Vikings coat was the one on sale. So guess what I was wearing? So if you got a few situations where it just doesn't, please. But yeah, sweaters, hats, gloves, and again, all sizes: kids, women, men, teenagers, toddlers, infants. All of the above are useful here as far as that clothing goes.
Yes.
So please bring it. Now, you've got several drop-off locations. Mountain View Middle School, of course, that's going to be closed for the next couple of days here. So, but Monday when you head back to school, you can have them.
And
have
that'll
your kids
go
bring
on
to school.
until the 30th, I believe.
Good deal. That one will go to the 30th here.
Yeah.
Wakefield Oil on Main Street, North Main, 3201. You can drop that off. You're going to get an oil change or car wash or something here with these 60 temperatures. Might try to sneak in a car wash. Bring clothing items there. Also, you can go to Alonza here in New Mexico on Richardson, 1200 South Richardson. You can go to their offices and drop things off there. Bewitch's sandwich shop there. if you leave there without food, you're stupid. That food is delicious. Like I keep seeing people showing pictures of like their chicken and dumplings because it's been a little colder.
Yes.
And they're all showing their soups they're getting from B, which is
definitely
like
a reason to go over there.
Macaroni and cheese.
But bring a coat, bring a thing, and then grub down on the food there afterwards. Also, you can go to Stellar Coffee at 315 North Main, right across the street here. And again, if you leave hungry or leave without getting a drink or something to eat, kind of on you. That was a dumb move. But and then the last one is I'm not sure that masjid.
It's the mosque. It's the Muslim mosque. I think
I'm
it's
just
on
bad at
McGaffey.
pronouncing things with
yeah,
a lot of consonants in it.
I can't pronounce.
But it's the Muslim mosque.
There,
on,
and that's at
McGaffey.
427 East McGaffey.
Mm-hmm.
Am I reading that? Or 927.
920.
Sorry. Need thicker glasses. And you can drop off your again, gently used, brand new. If it's beat up and really not something you want anymore, no one else is going to want that either. So get rid of that, throw it in the trash, turn it into wash rags, whatever you do with your clothing that's no longer serviceable here. But new, if it's new, awesome. But if it's, like I said, gently used, like you said, if it's a coat that was worn once, or I get it, I thought I could fit in a large. You couldn't.
And also, I wanted to mention at Wakefield, they also have a donation box for food and hygiene for the college students that they're collecting.
For their pantry there.
Yes.
So if you'd like to drop non-perishable food items off there.
Along with your sweaters and coats.
And what I always find was really good in those, I mean, canned goods are great and everything, but the microwavable stuff.
Yes.
The mac and cheeses,
they don't really
soups.
have access. I mean, they think they have stoves.
Yeah. And a lot of it you can
microwave
microwave
things.
if you can get it into like your Chef Boyardee's and all that. If you get it into a bowl or something, you can microwave it. But they do have the microwavable versions of it that's even better. So grab those up, the Dinty Moore stews, and any of that stuff's really, especially for the college kids. It's, you know, we're all in that age at one point. You know how you ate and what you did and things like that. Usually if it came out of a bag.
I'm so impressed with the community. There has been so many drives, the tennis shoe drive, can drives, coat drives. This is great.
Yeah, I'm really trying to push it.
Well, and then people do stuff like I wasn't involved, but our other American Legion guys, they went and got about 16, 20 turkeys, and now they've been going around to the Joy Center, Salvation Army, dropping off a couple turkeys here and there. They do it every year, but they don't really announce it or talk about it. But I've been watching the texts, and all right, we got 4 turkeys over to Salvation Army, 1 over. And thanks to some generous donors, I think we got 16 or 20 turkeys this year.
Wow.
And so they were all distributed. So yeah, there's a lot of things that people just do because it's the right thing to do, and that's what makes this community great. We have our fights, we have our issues, north, south, and football, all the garbage you hear that goes on, but we have an amazing community, and when it really comes to rallying around and and supporting, and when we find someone in need, or we always seem to, all right, let's pool our resources together. That's something
especially in a crisis or a storm.
Yeah.
And that's something else that with Many Hands is working on with Enrique with the disaster relief and met with the city twice already. We're trying to find a location for a warming center.
Good deal.
When we opened the warming center in 2020 during COVID, we saw our community come together then. We had all the volunteers just
That's the beauty
up.
of COVID. That was the part that I loved of COVID was that rally. It's kind of like 9/11. I'm of age where I was there for that, and yeah, it was probably the worst tragedy I ever witnessed. But the love and support that came from that was probably one of the most beautiful times of being alive as in this country that I can remember.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think reminds me is from the tragedy comes the beautiful stories of love and hope and all the things that make humanity great come out of that sometimes. And so you're right. When COVID hit, I can't remember, and especially those early days, there's business going to be open, but we got the sewing store downstairs making masks and just saying here's kits if you want to make masks. Here's the thing. It's got the instructions. They're doing what they can from what their expertise to help. And like you said, people, I remember the church, First United, they which is still going, by the way, their little food pantry. You can come by and go and grab something to, usually there's cereal or beans and rice almost all the time in there. That if people need food, you just come in there and grab and leave. And I remember that thing was always overflowing because people were emptying it, there was helpers ready to put more food back in that thing. And I I ain't gonna lie, I kind of wish we were back to that feeling, but I get it. Life happens and things happen and things go like that. But you're right. This is this community is very good when it comes to when something's in need. We circle the wagons and rally the troops, and we do what we got to do.
Well, we're really trying to push this warming center. It is getting colder.
Absolutely. It's a need. It is truly a need, and it's not. Yes, yeah, we're gearing it towards homeless and things like that. But how many of you were downtown? It's like I'm freezing. I want to go in there for a minute
and also, with everything going up, a lot of people can't afford their bills. So if we have seen a lot of families that don't have heat right now.
Well, and homeless is, yes.
And so an elderly too that may
they
not
have a roof over their head, but they don't have the rest of it to take care of themselves.
So
they're sacrificing a roof for medicine or food. We're not getting our medicine so we can afford our ramen or I can't pay my electric bill. So to pay my electric bill, I'm not going to my doctor appointment.
Well,
I'm not doing the things that I need to do.
Cross between, am I going to eat today or am I going to take my medicine today?
But even people that you're not elderly or folks that are on a very fixed income, and now we're hitting the holidays where everything gets more expensive because now people need to buy gifts and Thanksgiving and it's like that's why back to school drives are, because events that are kind of out of the normal routine can really blow budgets for people that are really watching every nickel and every dime, and we all been there, and some of us are there, and some of us go back to there. That's life happens like that, where you gotta, and sometimes, and I know families, especially older families, they're going to sacrifice for themselves to make sure their kids are taken care of. So what you'll see is they're not technically homeless, but grandma and grandpa aren't eating because they're making sure the kids are fed, or you know what I mean?
Right.
And so they're sacrificing to help others. And yeah, technically that's not homeless, but same problem. Same issue here.
And we do know with warming centers, it does at least 3 things off the top of my head, and it's it deters petty crime.
Absolutely.
We see. I was talking to the detention center, and they said that they see an increase when the weather drops down. They see an increase in petty crime because people will do desperate things to get
desperation. Yeah, if you're hungry or cold or at a point where you if I go any further, my life is in risk. Then guess what? Stealing from a person that they normally wouldn't do is not. It's not all drugs. Drugs is certainly a part of that, but it's not. Some of it is like you said,
desperation.
I don't know where my next meal's coming from. I don't have $1 to buy my cup of coffee or whatever I need to live here,
And then secondly is we see less response of, welfare checks and ER visits of exposure. And the third is that warming center saves lives, and it comes down to public safety, health, and we can, I think we can do this. We've done it before. So really, I know we can have the volunteers. We've already,
to be honest, I think to have it is the easy part. It's the part that we, because at the end of the day, we got to maintain it. We got to, and I think that's the part. If we just make sure it's maintained and, and continues, because I know the people that would be against this, I'm just going to speculate here, but their argument is, well, who's going to take care of it? It's going to turn to derelict and nasty and smell like and all the things that they're, the glass half empty side are going to say on this one. And I understand their point, but okay, any other facility is going to be the same way if you don't maintain it. The trick is we just make sure we maintain it. That's all.
The struggle that we're having, we have all the volunteers, everybody's willing to come together, Enrique's willing to do his part, but
and he already put together a really comprehensive plan of how the shelter runs and
that's it. It's a plan.
And it's temporary. It's not a permanent. We just need a spot for when inclement weather happens.
Absolutely.
Meaning the temperature drops below freezing. There's rain and there's snow. Not
and there's a place
every
if you're downtown, you need to go to the bathroom. You can do it, and that's everybody. Are you homeless? You're not. Well, you can't go to the bathroom. That's not it at all. This is for anyone that wants it. And how many times you've been downtown? It's like, ooh, I need to go to the bathroom. Oh, well, I don't want to buy anything, right? Because you feel obligated if you have to walk into a mom and pop business. So let's face it, that they're not in the bathroom business. They're in the business to sell their products and make their thing. And so it's a win-win for everybody. And it's the same thing with when we talk about a facility for folks. So we can figure this one out. We live in New Mexico.
If we come together as a community and somebody says, hey, I have this building you guys can use, that's all, like she said, it's not a permanent, it's just something temporary.
But we're not even like New York City where real estate is at a premium here.
Right.
We live in New Mexico. There's a whole lot of nothing for everywhere. We can surely find a place somewhere in all of this nothing.
Please reach out.
Where we can build a community or build a place that gives people an opportunity to get their lives reestablished you're right. It's not permanent for them. The whole point of this is to get them on their feet so they can do it themselves.
It's a stepping
but
stone.
they need to establish a foundation. They need an address. They need to get in touch with whatever services they need to. If they're dealing with mental health or drug, we need to get them in a place to help them with that. But that doesn't start without an address. Without a place where you can send them something, or a place where they can get a application to get a phone.
Right.
It all starts with an address. None of that can happen without an address.
Nope.
So that's the biggest thing. We give them an address so the rest can happen. We can figure this out.
And, a lot of people get held back because, it's like if you need a job, you have to have a driver's license.
Exactly.
And then therefore you have to have an address. And it's an endless circle.
You got this. Well, you got that. But it all starts with an address, a place to live. And that's once that happens, then they can then you give them the ability to take that wherever they want to with it. Obviously, whatever issues that got them in this situation to begin with, that's what you got to work on to help help overcome. But it starts with a place to live. And we could figure this out.
And that is the hierarchy of success. It's food, shelter, security, and then you can start to
and I get people
bloom.
People do it. I don't want it in my backyard. There's and I understand, to a point, some of that kind of thing. But my point is, we shouldn't have that problem anyway.
It's in everyone's backyard right now.
It is in everyone's backyard, and we live in the desert. Once you leave town, there ain't nothing here until the next town. Why can't we figure out a place, put it there?
Yep.
As long as you get the infrastructure for the water and the electricity, and we can build a facility out there. It's not, where the people that are worried about this in their neighborhoods and stuff, that's not an issue. But they can get the treatment they need. They can get the resources they need. They can give them a place that's their own, that they can take ownership in and embrace. This is the whole point of we can figure this out. We can fix
it,
and that's why I love with Many Hands. And really glad that I joined the organization is because we can have these discussions, and we're looking at things at all different ways. Like, is it tiny homes? Is that the solution? Is
Whatever
it a resource building that we need for community resources? Is it working? Home rehabilitation programs. Another project we're going to be working on soon is the point in time survey, which it hasn't been done in quite some time.
Years.
And so we really need that snapshot. We need those statistics to show, where are we with our
Well, that's how the funding comes, unfortunately.
Right,
the world we live in, you want the funding, I have the stats to prove you're worthy of the funding. And
we know our numbers have gone up, but we just don't know by how much. So to actually have a clear picture, especially with the raise of rent right now, and not having developers coming in to create more subsidized housing or apartment complexes, and so that where can we look at housing as a continuum?
Sure, but then housing that matches the population,
right?
Too.
Right.
So
it's
like
not having a new neighborhood built for coming in at $350,000 to get into
when we majority of the population couldn't afford to live in that neighborhood.
Exactly. So if we look at home rehabilitation as also beautifying our neighborhoods and neighborhood stabilizations, and look at how we can help our neighbors in neighborhoods get their property value.
It's investing back in yourself at the end of the day. All of this thing we're talking about here is investing back in ourselves as a community and making it better. And like you're right, we can figure these things out. And whatever the solution is, whether it is tiny houses or a rehabilitation facility or whatever that is, my argument is we can have the debate on what should be there. What shouldn't be the problem is finding a space to put it. Space is not our problem. We've got plenty of space.
Right.
It's what we want to do, and do we have the manpower and the resources to do that.
And getting all the partners, the right partners to the table.
Yeah.
You know, that the whole beauty of nonprofits, being able to do what nonprofits do best.
Absolutely.
But having the government support
To work
and then
and say-
have private sectors, you know, we all have to work
Like,
together.
I'm sure there's a bunch of land that the county or the city owns out there that ain't doing nothing but sitting there.
Right.
We can figure this out.
We can.
That's all I'm saying. But in the meantime, till we get to the bigger fish to fry here, help out right here today by please donating some gently used or brand new coats or winter clothing, sweaters, shirts, hats, gloves, socks, undergarments, as long as they're brand new. Keep the underwear brand new. The other stuff we can gently use, but socks and underwear, let's try to keep those brand new, please. They're not expensive. Go grab you a bag of tube socks, and if you can get your hands on the wool ones, those are great socks because the wool ones will keep them warm whether it's wet or dry, and that's the beauty of wool. So wool ones, I know they're a little more expensive, but they will be very beneficial for folks that might get wet sometimes and still need to be warm. The wool does help for that. As a guy who's spent enough time camping in the military, I know wool is your friend when it's wet and cold. So please reach out that way. Go to any of the drop-offs, like we said, the Masjid Mosque that's on 927 East McGaffey, Stellar Coffee right across the street here in North Main downtown. Bewitches sandwich shop there on Twin Diamond there, kind of behind Antigua's in that area right there.
Cecilio's, I think.
Is that the name of it? Is that the?
It used to be Cecilio's.
Is it? Is that what it used to be back then? I just know it's. I always tell people it's kind of behind Antigua's. Right. That's the landmark everybody
there
knows. It's kind of behind there. So and when you stop smelling Mexican food and start smelling like cold cuts and sandwiches and soups, that's you've hit Bewitches. So just follow your nose. But you can drop off items there. Alianza, I always mispronounce that. At 1200 South Richardson, Wakefield Oil at 32 on North Main, and or at Mountain View Middle School, 312 East Mountain View. And if you don't know any of that or forget you're listening, you can always. Many Hands does have a Facebook page. First, you should like and follow it. That way you can keep up to date on what's going on. But don't hesitate to shoot a question there, or if you want to get more involved, if you're thinking.
Yes, I mean that's what Many Hands is the more it's grassroots, it's spreading the word, it's coming up with, like let's talk about this problems and
absolutely
and act to get those solutions done.
Well,
we're very much hands on.
The problems we have in our community, there's several. Homeless is one of them. Pet overpopulation. There's a couple more there we can talk about. I will tell you this: none of those problems will be solved by your city government.
No.
I mean, they're going to put in things in place and try to mitigate and do create ordinances that will do this or that, but none of those problems will go away unless the public steps up and gets rid of it. You want to get rid of then you've got to be a pet owner and a proper pet owner and spay and neuter your pets. Don't be doing the puppy mills out at the Walmart parking lot, that kind of stuff. Same thing with the homeless. If you want to if you want this to be fixed. If you're waiting on the city government to do something or the state government, then you're going to be waiting a while.
Right.
It's going to be organizations like Many Hands and Harvest Ministries, a Homeless Coalition. These are all organizations that are out in the community doing these things. Support them. Support those organizations that do that, and get involved that way. And through Many Hands here, if you want to, get, especially we were talking about, right here, we're talking about a lot of problems and a lot of hurdles that we're dealing with. If you're listening and saying, I would love to be a part of that solution to help out. Maybe you have some, I can't, I'm not good at, walking around and doing that stuff, but I have some lawyer skills or accounting skills or bookkeeping skills or skills that would be very beneficial to a nonprofit organization. They would love to have you serve in that capacity.
Yes. So. Yeah, I saw this great model, and it was like how just working together, and it was government can do policy changes and stuff like that, but then nonprofits are doing direct services, and then our community members are doing the volunteer work. Right. It's so amazing. So anybody is able to join our group page and our Facebook page and get to know what we're working on if they have an idea they want to bring to the table. So
absolutely. It's Many Hands, Many Hands and many voices. That's what it is. It's our community. And if you want it to be the greatest community, we, the people of the community, are going to have to step up to make that happen.
And we're also going to be out at the light parade
Very
we
good.
will have
On
a float.
December
Thank
1st
you
there.
to Carrie from Bewitches. She's building a float for us.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing. It carries a lot of behind the scene work when it comes to.
She's a creative person. Hence the reason when she does what she does.
I ran into her at Home Depot and she was buying the big foam and she's like, so it's going to be like this and this and can you picture this? And I was like, no, but I know it's in your head and you're gonna execute it.
I don't have that ability to see things like that. I am envious of people that do have that ability. Like your brother's one of those people. I'm not one of those people.
So make sure to vote for our float too.
Yes.
Because
that's right, for the big winner. That's right.
Be one.
And we'll be out there handing flyers, trying to get people to
get the
get
word
with
out,
us
telling people
and,
more about the organization, and please, like you said, right now, look for the Facebook page. You guys have a website too that like manyhands.org.
No, that might be coming down the line though.
Okay.
So
all right, but right now we got the Facebook page here. Just look for Many Hands, maybe type Roswell or something to kind of get, because I got a feeling there's probably other organizations.
There is so with Many Hands is an organization that goes into other communities also and says, hey, what are changes you want to see in your community?
Gotcha.
And
so it's got a lot of arms, a lot of branches.
Roswell was housing. Alamogordo is community gardening. And there's other communities.
So it's kind of like each community has their own version of it based on their needs at that moment.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to expand into other counties.
Good deal.
Too, so,
but for Roswell, we're focusing on the homeless here, and we'd love more people to be a part of the solution here. So please come out. And like you said, go to any of the drop-off locations, bring coats, hats. Don't forget all sizes, women, men, youth, adults, young children, teenage children, everybody with arms, legs, hair, teeth, and need to be warm. Very good. Did we get it all?
Yeah.
Is there anything we missed?
I might want to come back for this one.
All right, we'll set a separate one for that one there. Very good. Well, thank you, ladies. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And she's got to rush to get us off the air. Otherwise, they're going to be staring at me going, for the next 5 minutes. But we're going to wrap up today's show. I just saw the time at perfect timing here. If you missed any of the part of the show, ksvptv.com. Log on the Mornings with Mike Winter's channel. You can go there, or our Facebook wall. We'll have it all there. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.